How you doing? Looks like we've already got some people loaded in here. So welcome everybody who's come up to Liquored Up Live. I hope you guys enjoy yourself. I think you will because I think I've got a pretty fucking good guest on for tonight. You probably all know him, you love him, but I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then I'll go ahead and introduce myself. But I always tell folks pretend like they don't know who you are. So Bash, introduce yourself to these fine people that are starting to populate.
So I'm RadBash, the dork in the skull mask. I talk about video games on the internet. Um, I don't ever know how to introduce myself. I like video games. I don't know. That's about it. I like video games.
Really? I could have fooled me
Right?
being on this podcast.
The thought.
Well, I'm Zoo. I also like video games a lot. I go by many names, such as who the fuck does he think he is? But some of those other names include Strange Internet Ghost, Last Cool Kid on the Internet, Dread Harbinger, Physical Caveman, Not 6'1", Potato Audio Lover. That's a new one. And I'm also a humble digital bartender here. So no audio for Rad. Yeah, I knew that was. Looks like they're having a hard time hearing you, Rad.
Is it still low? Man.
Yeah, it sounds like they're having a hard time hearing. I can hear everyone. Yeah, I can. Okay, so Keithius can hear you. Yeah, I can hear everyone this time. Yeah, we're getting better, Keithius. We're getting better. So yeah, it looks like it's just low audio. Some folks aren't quite. He's quiet, and he's quite quiet. We can't hear him. Yeah.
And my
So
camera just went off. We're off to
camera
terrible start.
camera went off, but you just came in loud and clear. That's perfect.
I fixed that. Okay, good.
So again, everybody who's been here before knows it wouldn't be a Liquored Up Live without some kind of technical snafu.
Some technical issues. Oh, we're on camera. Ignore the messy desk.
Hey, I'm looking at mine right now. Don't be ashamed. Now this is where chat comes into the clutch. They let us know about these things, such as hey, Zoo hasn't added himself into the discussion yet, which is half the time. So
Now it's just Rad's camera won't turn back on.
no, I can hear you perfect. We'll see what the chat has to say, but yeah, so I guess we'll reintroduce since they couldn't hear you. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself. Hate to make you do that twice, but it is what it is.
No, that's fine. Um, I'm RadBash again. Dork in the skull mask again. I play video games. Um, I talk about video games on YouTube, so that's fun. And yeah, that's about all I got. I never know how to do that.
Yeah, now
I hope
Shinky's
everybody.
saying can't hear you again. So you were loud, now you're kind of low again. As soon as the camera comes on, the audio gets crap. Ha ha, is what Iowa Retro Gamer Dad says.
What logic is that? Okay, hold on. We're gonna go settings.
It's Discord. I
YouTube
just
settings.
blame Discord when in doubt. That's what I do.
Okay, how about now?
Beautiful, loud and clear. Love it.
Yeah, it
So
was picking. The camera. It was switching the mic. That was weird.
so you've technically had a round two, but you were sharing it with our brother Jay from Cold Nights Gaming. And so
Yeah,
this is
correct.
really your official one-on-one round too. So I kind of always like to start that by kind of glossing over our history together. So
Okay.
I'll never forget meeting you. You were in the chat for I think one of either no, I think it was Belmont you were in the chat for.
It was Belmont's. Yeah.
And yeah, we got a good rapport going just in the chat with me talking, and you were actually one of the first guests who came on. And so like I'll tell you the reason I think I was drawn to you is like you've always I'm always drawn to people who can banter, and you and Belmont have that in spades. You're really good. And to tell a story, I can't. It was either you or Belmont. I think it was you, but no, it was Belmont because I was giving him crap, and you were on that one too, with Jay. And I said,
Oh,
how do you guys like your favorite franchise being owned by Konami? And it was either you or Belmont that said, well, probably as much as you like being a Chicago sports fan. And at that fucking point, I knew I had found brothers in arms. That was fantastic. But You're the same
Oh,
way. You know how to do the bands. You know how to have fun
oh
with some
yeah.
of these trolls. So I think that's going to come in handy in terms of a new project because I think this new thing is going to draw a lot of eyes, and with that comes, as you know, some more fun elements. So I guess we'll
Yeah.
start out there. So tell everybody what you've been up to. I think you've been cooking up with something really cool.
Yeah, so I started a YouTube team, a group. I don't exactly know what we're gonna call it. It's a bunch of other creators who came together to make content together. We are called the Super Retro Force. There's people like Retro Complex, IR Retro Gamer Dad, who's in the chat, Scorpio Caesar, myself, the Mad Belmont, Gameaholic, Shinky JRPGs, John McBaum, Metal Kitten Games, Surge Man X. There's so many of us. There's 10 total. And yeah, we have the Super Retro Force channel where we plan on making basically collab content all the time. So instead of just doing like a random collab project, every video will try to focus on all of us together. We have skits planned. We have a pretty big video coming out soon that I think everybody's really going to enjoy. But yeah, no, I'm super excited to get this off the ground. I've always wanted to do a content team, and most people know I tried the Radical Losers, which is basically just a group of my friends and family
Sure.
who wanted to try and help me make content, but a lot of them, this isn't something they wanted to do, so they really were just doing it for me. But you know, they've all given their blessing. They all love the idea. I'm super supportive of it. And no, I definitely I'm excited for this. The response we've gotten so far is phenomenal. We hit 100 subs within a week of being launched.
Okay.
Um, and that
That's
was
that's pretty
crazy.
fucking good.
And yeah, no, and that's what I thought. And like you mentioned, we have some eyes on us. I've seen some pretty big channels, you know, sub and start watching, which is kind of a lot of pressure. I don't know how the guys feel about it, but it feels like a lot, you know.
Oh yeah, especially when larger channels start to watch. Like I'll never forget. I was just doing a Morrowind stream at some point, and one of the larger content creators that y'all might know, won't name him, but dropped in literally to say, "Hey,
Right.
what's up?" And I'm just like, "Oh shit!" Like, like I didn't even know what to do. It's like, oh man, and sure enough, a few of his homies followed, and they come down in the chat too. So I know how that is. So I guess that kind of falls into my first question. So when you started this thing, you started with basically was you, some of your good friends. That was the Radical Losers,
Right,
and
correct.
that was really more of a, I saw it, you know, is you were trying to get a team together, but it really ended up being more of a support structure for a lot of your videos. And then Bad Belmont came along, and
Right.
I think you guys were making, not that the other guys weren't making videos, but I think a majority of the video content was coming from two or three people on there. And
Correct.
is that part of what led you to kind of seek out, you know, people that were more into the content creation side of things?
Yes. So that kind of showed me, and again, you know, I've talked with the Radical Losers are still. That's what they're still a group. They're just really attached to me at this point.
So you guys still
And it
play
kind
games
of,
together and do all that kind of stuff
yeah,
together, but
yeah,
it's the people that are less interested in content creation. You guys can just meet up for those
correct.
gaming sessions and things like that nature. And maybe we can all get
Correct.
together at some point um, to watch me get teabagged by a naked Nord again, like in Morrowind. Just do
That
an
was funny.
anniversary of that. I'll never
Yeah, that
live
was a
that down. I
blast,
will never live that down. If Mandy
dude.
was here
That
right now, she would be talking right now about how every fucking game I touch has nudity in it, and that was accidental. I just want to clear the air. That was accidental. I downloaded the wrong fucking Better Bodies mod because your characters literally look like potatoes otherwise. And there's one for clothed and there's one for unclothed, and I accidentally chose the unclothed. Promise.
mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made, and it genuinely was a mistake. Anybody who's seen Morrowind graphics knows that you're not getting hard off that fucking pixel. Um, even if you wanted to, a game is fucking 20 years old. So come on, guys, give me a little bit of credit. But I digress. So radical loser still a thing as far as the gaming aspect. You
Yeah.
branch out into more content creation. You get these folks on board, and
Right.
So I guess my question for you is trying to explore this a little bit. So you were already
Mhm.
collabing with a lot of these folks. What was it
Yeah.
that led to doing the more? So what was it? What was it? Went into the decision of going from a more collaborative, kind of loose affiliation, to a more structured group? Was there any specific thought that went behind the incentive of doing that instead of just sticking with the loose collabs?
So, yeah, it was kind of a moment actually. It was Belmont's live. He was playing Dark Cloud, and
Okay.
Iowa actually came in and said, "Oh, Rad should start the Radical Losers again," which is something I wanted to do. Again, I always wanted to do a content team.
Okay.
And I jokingly ran with it. I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's see." And I mean, I went off who I've worked with before and who I knew I could trust and things like that, and who had similar visions that I had.
Sure.
And I kind of, I went to Caesar, I went to everybody. I was like, "Hey, how do you guys feel?" And I mean, everybody just loved the idea. And again, some guys were like, "Well, hey, is this similar to Radical Losers?" And I was like, "Yes and no. It's going to be what I wanted the Radical Losers to be,
Essentially.
and we're going to take it to the next level." And yeah, I mean, everybody who joined loved it. And I mean, we're still trying to, we're taking off. We're trying to add, we want to add more people to it, kind of build, an empire, essentially, I guess is what we'll call it. But yeah, no, I mean, it definitely was in that moment that it was kind of just like, oh, let's see what happens. And I mean, yeah, I started rolling from there.
Well, you're off to a good start. I mean, you got Caesar, Belmont, you got some really good peeps on board that I'm familiar with, and there's more people that I can tell you I'm going to get more familiar with after this combo. That I want to kind of look into their content. So, um, tell me, like in terms of, I'm very familiar with people like you, Upper Nimbus, Mad Belmont. Tell me a little bit more about the people I might not have been on a first name relationship quite yet with. What kind of content we talking about that they do?
So a lot of us focus on retro. So in general, most of the guys do retro. But like, so
Okay.
Shinky, I don't know if you know Shinky. Shinky focuses heavy on RPGs and JRPGs. That's like his whole main thing. But he talks about other things as well. John McBond mostly streams at the moment, but when he does do content, it's focused around fighting games, horror games, things like that. I think you know Surge. Surge is Caesar's like close friend. Surge does a lot of the collecting and things like that. I was actually in a collab with him.
Yeah, Serge does some good
I think,
content.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we
he's
did a
he's another one. He's
PS2.
that's short list for the show coming up.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I bet he would have a good time. Yeah, I really like Surge. Retro Complex. He's one of the OG members. He's been on YouTube for, I think he said like 2015. But he
Holy
does a lot
shit!
of the collecting and deep dives. Yeah, well, and that's Gameaholic. He's been on YouTube like 12 years. Like dude's been on. He's our angry video game nerd. Is the Gameaholic, which is kind of cool. To have our very own AVGN. Hopefully not, train wreck
Well,
AVGN.
I don't think
Um,
so. Here's the interesting thing about the AVGN clones. Um, so I don't see that as a pejorative, honestly, and the reason for
right.
that is every look at a game like Super Mario Brothers. If we're going to take this to video games, right? So
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers is a cornerstone of the pyramid that is gaming. If you remove the brick that
Mhm.
is Super Mario Brothers, not only do you lose Super Mario Brothers and its cultural impact, but you lose the ability for all of the knockoff games that could do things their own
Okay.
way. You lose all the platformers, 2D platformers. Now, one could
Right.
come along and say somebody would have eventually filled that niche and they would have been that cornerstone game. But imagine a
Right.
world without Super Mario Brothers. You're talking no Castlevania, no Mega Man, not as it looks today. You're talking no Sonic the Hedgehog. You're talking no 3D platformers. Which for
Yep.
the folks that like those, like holy, I can't even imagine a gaming landscape without 3D platformers. Like
That would
it's
be.
it's
I
literally
don't think gaming would be around.
it's literally a whole fucking time period that's like Thanos snapped. So that's kind of the way I see angry video game nerds. So
Right.
honestly, some of those angry video game nerd knockoffs are just as interesting and entertaining in their own way And there's some
Oh, yeah.
rabbit holes. Oh my God, what's the name? What's the name of not the irate gamer, but there's another one, the Game Dude. Have you
I don't
been down
know
the
that
Game
one.
Dudes? You've got to check out the Game Dudes rabbit hole. This is a dude who started off as an AVGN knockoff, and it went to some
Okay.
fucking dark places, homie. This guy literally ended up like stalking this girl and ended up like literally on the run from the police. It's a whole fucking rabbit hole.
Oh,
It's a
jeez,
great,
that's a whole
yeah,
thing. Oh,
it
wow.
culminated in this fucking asshole literally doing a video of him with these dinosaurs, these toy dinosaurs, acting out his relationship with this girl and being spurned by this girl with the dinosaurs. And it's a 2 fucking hour video that you've got to see it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that. Yeah, I've never see. I know Irate Gamer. I actually watch his stuff.
Chris Force was good. Like he ended
Yeah.
up being pretty good. Like, and I think AVGN even did an episode with him later on. But
I think so. I think they did end up working together.
yeah, this dude was not like that. This dude claimed to have AVGN's blessing, and somebody's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Game Dude?" And AVGN's like, "No." It was great. That's a whole rabbit hole that at some point you've got to explore. So let me stop you there. Let's go ahead and let's get caught up on the chat here. So Cheeky is first in. Hey, let's go. welcome in,
Hey.
Cheeky. If this is your first Liquored Up Live, I hope you enjoy it. Same with Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. He's got these little slimes that I love. That's awesome. You know what YouTube needs though? It needs my fucking dancing pudding emoji. They took away my fucking dance. Oh, so on Discord, there's a dancing pudding emoji that is just the most awesome thing in the fucking world. I'll try to find it and I'll share it on the Discord later on.
Okay.
Really, really cool. I'm not sure which Discord I found that in, which of the servers I'm in. It might be iPatch Wolves or it might be Tamriel Rebuilds, but oh, it's awesome. 100%. So then he's quiet. We can't hear him, which, yeah, we're through that. Yeah, no audio for Red. Yeah, I can hear everyone this time. So Keithius could fucking hear you, which is, and that's a joke because my audio is never on at the beginning of these ever. Then there we go. LOL. A little quiet. Audio is good. Now he can't hear you again. So as the camera comes on, audio goes to crap. Good. Perfect. Let's go. And thus ends the audio commentary. Woot, woot, woot. Retro Iowa Gamer Dad says, Cold Nights. Hey, Jay, what's going on, man? Welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Jay from Cold Nights.
Jay.
So, how's everyone doing tonight? Doing good, man. Hope you're doing good as well. I've been thinking a lot about you as far as what was happening recently with you in terms of the health, and I'm glad you're taking care of yourself, homie. Got to do it. Iowa Retro Gamer Dad says, loving the collab work. The team's great. All our work in one area. Yeah, and that's kind of a strength too, is because human beings as a whole are a collaborative species, and as much as I like the lone wolf things, I'll be damned if a lot of my great ideas don't come from at least bouncing off other people like a mirror. It's just one of those things that helps you with that content, more creative aspects of content creation for sure. See, you got Iowa Retro Gamer Dad wishing Cold Night say good evening. Same thing. Here, showing up to support my boys. Always love you for that, Jay. And if you haven't, by the way, everybody also, if you haven't already, and I'd be shocked if you haven't, go check out Cold Night Gaming's channel. Like Cold Nights Gaming is one of the direct inspirations for this fucking show you're listening to right now. His Cold Nights podcast, listen to every single one of them. They're all great, but anything Jay touches is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, LOL. I saw something during that stream, and less than a day later, Rad took control and really figured it out. And then, sup, guys? 90 handheld in. What's going on, 90s? Again, I keep asking you, when are we going to do this, man? You named the time, and you're on. I want to talk to you. Because there's 90s is another guy that makes just banger videos.
Oh, yeah,
and
I agree.
Actually, shout out to 90s. I think he got partnered today on YouTube.
He did. Yeah, he posted that
Fantastic.
today.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, that's for people that actually have a goal doing this shit. That's one of the big goals. So congratulations, man. Inferno Fox also in the house. Man, we got the whole fucking crew in here today. What's
A
going
lot of
on,
people.
Inferno? Now, this guy is my first ever back-to-back guest. Yeah, he came on twice with me, like back-to-back. Then we got, we're just wishing everybody, same with 90s. Everybody wishing everybody hi. All right, so what are y'all playing this weekend? So I'm playing Morrowind, and I got to tell you, that's a problem because this game constantly derails me. I mean, constantly derails because the mission of my channel is to review every Switch game under the sun. Every single Switch game that I have physically, I'm going to do a review of. And I'll be damned if, like, every 6 months there's not a Tamriel rebuilt expansion for Morrowind that just plays havoc with that shit, man. So I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to get back into making actual fucking videos, but it will happen. I promise you guys, it will happen. But Morrowind is definitely not making it easy. How about you, Rad? What are you playing?
Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna play anything. I'm currently I'm busy editing for my channel, the team channel, and working on converting my garage into a game room. So that's why
Damn,
everything behind me is a mess.
that's busy bee. That's a busy bee for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that'll definitely keep you busy. And see, that's another good question. I think that brings up a good topic. So, how is it? Veggie just put out a really good video about battling gaming slumps. If you haven't seen it, really good video. How is it
Okay.
that you tackle the problem of being too busy and balancing that game time with business? Do you have anything you specifically do for that?
Um. So I'm gonna tie that into kind of the backlog thing. So I set 10 games out, and I did a video about this. The games I'm going to play this year. So that helps me decide what I'm going to play, so I don't run into the problem of not knowing what to play. And then as far as making the time for it, between work, a lot of us work and do this and things like that. I lack time. So what I like to do is I set one day a week to just do nothing but that's usually on my second day off. And the missus and I will just sit down. She'll play on her Switch or something like that, and I'll play whatever I'm playing. If I'm joining a game, like the other day, I spent it playing Helldivers 2 with Fane, Jeff, and Splooge, and we ran through that.
Okay,
Which
you were
Helldivers 2 is actually really fun.
you were actually able to get on the server.
Yeah, we were. I haven't run into any
Okay,
server
okay.
problems.
I
I
know.
think they took care of that.
Good. That's good because I hear people love the game. Um,
Oh yeah, it's good.
that was kind of what OJ was saying. OJ said if I can get in the game, it's awesome, but getting in the game early on was hard. But yeah, he kind of touched on that too. That for me being a smart ass, they did solve that problem, and kind of a victim of their own success. It wasn't anything they did, my understanding. It was just that demand
No.
was so high for getting in there that they just
Yeah.
couldn't. So I can't give them too much shit, except that they are an online only game, and I'm going to shake my finger at them. Don't do that. Give us some kind of single player element. But that way, if
And that's I very much any game. I don't normally do just multiplayer games. If it's only multiplayer, I tend to avoid it. Because once those servers get shut down, the game's dead, and it was a waste of money.
but still,
Luckily, I was gifted
yes.
Helldivers, so that made it totally worth it.
And
Because
also, if your homies want to play, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah, exactly.
I, I can't be mad about that. Then you got Iowa Retro Gamer Dad says work. LOL. Otherwise, been playing Snake Eater. That must be wonderful. I've always wanted to play Snake Eater. Um, maybe one day it will come to Nintendo Switch, huh? That would be great. That would
I
be fantastic.
didn't it? Didn't
No,
it?
no. There was some kind of a box that had the appearance of being a Metal Gear Solid game that came
Oh,
to Switch, but
okay.
not a working game,
Threw me
sadly.
off there for a second. I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, it was on the Switch, but it was a code, wasn't it?
It wasn't even that. Wasn't even that.
No.
It wasn't even a code in a box. It was like a little bit of every single game on the disc. It's the worst way to do it. Literally the worst
Oh,
fucking way
what?
you can do a physical release.
That's weird.
Should have just been a download.
Yeah, at that point, that's so weird. I don't understand why these companies do what they do.
So 90s says, nice. I'm trying to beat Pikmin 1. Pikmin 1, I hear, is the most
Nice.
challenging of Pikmin. I am going to get into Pikmin at some point. I'm going to be playing those because they're all on the Switch now. And here's the funny part about Pikmin. I can't even give Pikmin shit anymore from a financial standpoint because didn't it come out and do almost 5 million fucking games? It did some incredible number. Pikmin 4 did. So, yeah.
Did it really?
It did. Yeah, Pikmin finally broke out. And that's not a massive success in Nintendo terms, but for Pikmin, that is easily the
For
best selling.
Pikmin,
That's incredible.
that's shocking.
And for most games, let me say, for most games, 5 million is an incredible achievement. I'll tell you, I'm gonna make a prediction. By the way, I think Super Princess Peach gonna do it too.
Oh, that I believe. That I do think will happen.
I think Princess Peach Showtime is gonna do some crazy numbers.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, I'm gonna try to make the time to play Unicorn Overlord, which I have called the game of the forever. I jokingly say that when that game comes out, I'm going to throw all of my physical games in the landfill and delete my GOG account because that game will be all that I need from here on out. I'm very, very hyped about that game if people can't tell.
It didn't look all that interesting to me.
No?
No, it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to checking it out. So it's not the art. I love the art.
It's not the art. So is it the fact that it's a strategy game? Like what is it that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Not a fan. Okay.
Not a fan.
Hey, I get
the game
that.
looks gorgeous. I love the art style. I loved what did they do? Dragon's Crown, I think is the name.
It needs to come to Switch. Oh, I want it so bad. Yes, it looks so good.
That was fun.
Yeah, I remember seeing the screenshots of that, and you've got like the character designs are incredible in that game.
Yeah.
Like very stylized, very nice. Vanillaware doesn't miss as long as it's your style of game. I'm not going to say strategy game is my best style of game, but I keep hearing about the second coming of tactics, and this is the one that everybody says is going to probably be the closest. So here's hoping for that.
Okay.
Mad Belmont in the house. We're just talking about you, Belmont. Let's go. SRF in the house. Oh, goodness.
We're gonna start doing a chant. It's like did you ever play Earth Defense Force? They go EDF, EDF. We're gonna do that with Super Retro Force.
Yeah, it can be like the Nintendo. What did Nintendo do? They said, now is the time for 3D. Is what Nintendo used to say. I'm not kidding you. They got really culty into the 3D shit.
3D.
They would literally sit around and they would say, now is the time for 3D. Like during the Virtual Boy N64, like, yeah, they were all on board, man. So 90 says, nice, everybody raving about Rebirth. Hope it comes next to Nintendo Switch. And then Inferno Fox is playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Have you had a chance to try Rebirth yet? I, of course, have.
I haven't. I have not. I haven't had a chance just yet. I have it, just haven't had a chance to play it.
I ended up having to mute Tifa's titties on Twitter because it was just all over my feed. It just I can only take some. I mean, they were nice, but I can only take for digital pixel titties. They were okay, but I can only take so much back and forth and debating about video game pixel guys. I can only take so much. Like here's my thing. Like if that's cool. If it's not, I don't see what's wrong with it. I think it's perfectly fine. Hasn't Tifa always been kind of top loaded?
I want to say yes.
So explain to me what the controversy or lack of controversy or not. What is the whole thing? Because I let it go for about 2 days without really studying it, without muting it. But maybe there's more to this, so I can maybe give some commentary. What is the thing with Tifa and the boobies? What is going on with Boobagate?
Didn't they like censor her so her boobs are covered more now?
Maybe
like they're not. I think that's what happened, and that made people mad. I think.
Well, maybe somebody in the chat who gives it more of a shit will be able to tell us. Because I don't know.
Yeah, because
I genuinely don't know, and I don't care. Like, just
yeah, that was me. I didn't care.
so.
I was like, oh well,
Like, it is what it is. It looks good either way. Like,
yeah.
yeah, nice. Everyone's raving about Rebirth. Colt J says, "Thanks, guys. Love you both. Oh, love you too, buddy."
Much love, Jay.
Call us, Kyle. So I am here. Not much 90s handheld gamer, just chilling. What's up with you? That's Belmont. Yeah, gotta hit me up, man. We're overdue. We're long overdue, 90s. We gotta definitely get you on here. 90 says, I'll just be happy to make a little extra change to buy some more games. Yeah, a little extra change is
Fair.
always good. Always, I can't complain about that. Like, as much shit as I talk about monetization on YouTube, keep in mind that I'm kind of a privileged asshole in regards to the loose pennies department. So a lot of you can take what I say with a fucking grain of salt. Got to remember that. So um, if you're still trying to grind out, if you're still trying to make money, it's a legitimate side hustle that maybe even one day can become a hustle. Yeah, no shame in it, despite me being an asshole sometimes about it. LOL, yeah, it's nice. I use my YouTube checks for random game stuff and giveaways. That's
Is that Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa says basically what he does. He kind of throws
Yeah.
it into generate more followers, more
Yep.
clicks with the giveaways, things of that nature. Yeah, I can.
He's smart with it.
Yeah, that's it. Like a fox. That's smart, man. Hey, Chill's in. What's going on, Chill? Friend of the channel. Coming on.
Chill?
Welcome in. Chills is here. Just downloaded Helldivers 2. We should play Monday or Tuesday night, Iowa says. So is this like, so tell me a little bit about Helldivers 2. Is this like a Starship Troopers kind of thing? Because I dig me some Starship Troopers. Robert Heinlein, baby.
Yeah, it very much is if you're fighting the bugs. If you go over the opposite end, you're fighting like the Terminators.
Okay.
And that is like brutal. That's hardcore. But even just fighting the bugs, yeah, the bugs is very Starship Troopers. Even like the first intro cutscene when the guy's talking, it's like the commercial they do in Starship Troopers. They're like, I'm doing my part. It's exactly like that. They definitely had to have gotten inspiration from Starship Troopers.
They absolutely.
There's no way they didn't.
Absolutely got. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played it, but I've seen enough to know it. That's
Yeah.
Starship Troopers, baby.
Yeah.
Now what I'm wondering is, did they go the movie route or did they go the book route? Because a little bit about Robert Heinlein versus the movie, which I forget who directed the movie. I'm trying to think of his name. Give me a second. I got to Google it because that's going to drive me nuts.
Especially I didn't know.
Yeah, let's find this out. Starship Troopers movie was directed by Paul Verhoeven. That name was on the tip of my tongue. Paul Verhoeven was the director of Starship Troopers. Now, why I bring this up is Paul Verhoeven's version. So Paul Verhoeven's version was a satire on fascism. And Robert Heinlein's book, while not, I wouldn't call it a fascist book, was more about the citizenship confers, your ability to do, like, he definitely believes some of the Starship Troopers motifs. So is this game more of a satire or is it more of a serious game?
Oh, it's not serious. It's satire.
Okay,
There's deep lore that like is like if you look deep into it, like it's
sure.
like I mean the fan base and the lore and all that, but no, it's very just
So it's like a
goofy.
satire, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I get the feeling that a lot of people who play like a game like Warhammer and play in the Warhammer universe too, that a lot of these peeps don't understand that all of the different factions are satires and none of them are good guys. Like, so you have people that are in like the fucking monster bug guys and they're into that. You got the guys that are into like the fucking the Empire and they're into that. And it's like they're all fucking scumbag. Like, it's satire. It's satire in the darkest fucking possible universe you can ever see. And I just wondered if the game took the satire approach, or if they went with more like a serious like war drama, like the original Starship Troopers book was.
Yeah, no.
Okay, more sad.
Like it gets deep behind the scenes. Like the fans are like building this whole thing, and it's a whole like they make it serious, but it's not.
Well, but that tells you there's passion there too. That's what
Yes.
that
Oh
tells
yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. And the like the people love this game, and like they're making their own stories, and like it's crazy like how much this game that I didn't even know there was a first one. So then the second one comes out, and it's just all of my feed now is just Helldivers 2. That's all it is. Yeah, it's crazy.
So, by the way, RadBash says he's down Iowa, so keep him to that. Get him to play some games this weekend, or actually, you said Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I need to, and that's perfect because I'm off Tuesday, so I'm gonna have to do that.
Now, Matt Belmont says Konami did Konami things as usual. What did Konami do now? What did they do now? Just,
Hey, what did they do? I didn't see anything.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. Probably fucked up the new Contra game. I'll be mad if they did, because it actually looks good. Actually looks really good. I just picked up Unicorn Overlord today. Excellent 90s. Yeah, I've got it. I just haven't had time because I fucked up my Morrowind load order when I tried to download, so I've got a mess on my hands when I get off of here. I'm basically going to have to start from scratch, but that's fine. I need to modernize that load order anyway, so that'll be fine. And Inferno Fox also picking up Unicorn Overlord. 90 says Dragon's Crown, Muramasa, Odin's Sphere. Yeah, all games that need to come to Switch.
Odin's Sphere.
Where the fuck
That's what
are
I
those
was thinking of.
Where the fuck are they? Money on the table, guys. Money on the table. Bring those over. All three of those games. Bring those over. Bring your asses to Switch. We'll take care of you financially.
Yeah, actually, I have the collector's edition for Odin's Sphere on the PS4. I got
would
the
hold on to
big
that.
box.
My understanding is that goes for quite a bit now.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, those. Vanilla, again, they don't miss. I'm going to wait for it, hopefully go on sale, but I might regret that, LOL. I think most of Atlus's games do take a hit because it's Sega, so they usually go on sale pretty quick. But when they do get price reduction, don't miss it, because I don't think they're going to make a lot of those. I think it's going to be like a Persona, an Aegis Rim, or a Persona 5 Royal on Switch deal where they just don't make a lot. Persona 5 Royal is completely sold out on Switch. Like they're completely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they never reprinted, and they're all gone. So I mean, there's still some at GameStop you can find. There's still some on Amazon, but when they're gone, they're gone. Yeah, well, they only did one print.
Damn.
All I saw
was
okay. So all I saw were people saying her boobs were acceptable, but Xenoblade 2 characters were too much for some debate about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. So all the hate for Xenoblade 2. Yeah, I can see the controversy around that, because you've got people that are ogling over Tifa's boobas, but at the same time they're completely mad about the Xenoblade 2. So I'm gonna throw a theory out there, 90s, and you tell me about it on why people react so strongly to the booba in one game, but not the booba in another game. And what I think it is it's the anime. I don't think it's the boobs. I think it's the anime. I think anytime anime is involved with anything, there is just a select group of people that just fucking hate it. Do you ever get that feeling, Bash?
That's very factual. That is
Yeah.
very well, and that's weird. I was talking about that with I think it was Nimbus. Nimbus and I were talking about it.
Okay.
If so we basically we tested the theory. You took one thumbnail and the other, you put one with anime girls in it and one without it. And I think I talked about this with Fox too.
Okay.
The one with anime girls is gonna do significantly better. It's so weird. Like they'll watch that, but they won't watch the other one. It's strange. I don't quite understand it, but like,
and then there's also this small subsect of guys that really hate it.
That's what I'm saying. And then there's the anime girl, and I don't understand that. That's not a valid reason to hate something. And I get anime is not everybody's like thing, I guess. But the art style that of anime is beautiful in my opinion. I love
It
most
can be.
like
It
right.
absolutely can be. I always tell people that like anything else, I like good anime. So
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
quality anime. So there's anime that's absolute dog shit, and there's anime that is life changing. Again, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen, Bash. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm gonna make it happen.
Nope.
I
Nope.
promise. Part 4.
Nope.
Part
Nope. 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 I bought a JoJo game the other day and I hated myself for it because I did GameStop's 4 for 4. All they had was this damn JoJo game. I was like, oh man, I don't even know if I should do this, but I did it. And yeah, Metal, he messaged me. He's like, yeah, JoJo now, huh? I'm like, it's not like that.
So okay,
Like,
so
it's not
I'll make
like
you
that.
a deal in the stream. There's 10 people in here right now that I can see. Although that number is scrambled as fuck. It's usually-
Witnesses.
So I'm gonna say something that is gonna be unbelievable, and I'm going to give you a possibly compelling reason. It depends on I might put too much stock in myself. If you watch JoJo's Part 4, you just have to watch Part 4. Diamond is Unbreakable. If you watch Part 4, mm, I don't know.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't know if I want it. I'll move Super Mario Brothers 3D All Stars to the top of my review list.
Ooh. All right, that's fair. That's fair. How are you more upset than I am? I have to watch JoJo. Like,
I have to play 3D Mario.
Yeah, well, fair. I know you're not a 3D Mario fan. At least if you at least try to enjoy it. Like try,
I'm hope part of me thinks I might have changed my mind on this because I liked Odyssey. I liked Odyssey. I think Rush Dog is a big proponent of the fact that I was just so mad about the lack of 2D Mario that colored my perspective on 3D Mario. He's a big proponent.
Fair.
And the moment 2D Mario came back, I was less angry. So we'll see about that. I might actually have the better deal if that's the case, but I won't because you will like Part 4. I promise you will like Part 4. I don't even really care about the rest of JoJo. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Just Part 4.
Well, that's not true because Part 6 I also really enjoyed. Part 5 I could take it or leave it. Part 3
Okay.
way too villain of the week. It's just fight after fight after fight. The fights are interesting, but it gets fucking old. Really, what I tell people is watch the first 3 episodes of Part 3 and then watch like the last 10 episodes. And you basically have the entire of Part 3. And instead of it taking you fucking 60 episodes, it'll take you 14. Because everything else that happens is him traveling the world and fighting big brick shithouse people. Like, and it's ridiculous because you can always tell who the villain is because he's the only one that's built like a fucking brick shithouse, like a fucking Greek statue. And then you have all these like normies, these regulars that are just like these like weenie people. So it's like,
weenie people.
Yeah, so they're on this ship and it's like all these sailors and they're just like these weenie little they do not lift, bro. Put it that way. They do not lift. And so it's like, gee, I wonder who the villain's gonna be. And here's this fucking cut 6'8" fucking brick shithouse sailor with his fucking belly shirt popping out. Like, yeah, there he is. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
That's the big bad right there. That's the big bad.
That's the stand user. Even on the airplane, there's like this airplane, and they're like, we have to find out who the stand user is. It's a small insect stand that can like literally rip through your ear and get in your head and kill you that way. But it's a stand user that he can use remotely. So he's somewhere on the plane, but they don't know who he is. And you're scanning the plane, and here's this big muscled up fucking brick shithouse in like a fucking business. I'm like, there, that's him. It's right there. He looks just like you guys. Get him. Like they can't even be subtle even when they need to be. Like when the stand user's hidden. It's like, oh yeah, just look for the bodybuilder. Like
For the big buff guy.
Yeah, that's all you do every time. It's like, oh, wonder who the enemy stand user is going to be this time. Gee, I don't know. Is it the Adonis over there in the corner? Probably. Like,
Oh no.
so I can take it or leave. Part 3 had good moments. Didn't really care for part 1 or part 2 outside of Joseph. I think Joseph is probably my favorite Joestar, but I find the
Okay.
story on those to be not interesting. Part 3 is really good at the beginning and the end. Part 4 is a fucking JRPG masterpiece. Part 5 is okay. Part 6 is pretty fucking good. That's kind of my
I might actually enjoy 4 then. I might.
4 is not your typical battle anime, and that's why I like it. 4 is a murder mystery. And did you like Persona 4?
Yes.
Persona 4 took direct inspiration from JoJo Part 4. In fact, you could say
Okay.
took right down to the yellow skies. Morio is such a cool place. Morio is really the real character in the story. So instead of being this globe-trotting battle manga, Morio is a much more intimate setting. It's literally just telling the story of a small seaside Japanese town. And basically, there's a serial killer in the town who may be a stand user and is killing lots of women in this town. And basically, the goal of the gang is to find out who this murderer is. And antics ensue, not even always related to that core story. Check it out. It's really cool.
I might actually enjoy that. I might.
And if
I
you
might
start it,
actually
let
enjoy
me
that.
know, and I will move All Stars up, and that'll force me off Morrowind because I'm a man of my word.
What is JoJo on? Like, is it on any like?
I think it's on Netflix. I think.
Okay.
Try to find. I'm sure the dub is fine, but try to find the subtitles if you can, because sometimes the English is really cringe on those dubs. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am also playing Rebirth currently. How you liking it, Shinky? Let us know in the chat how you're liking that. Chill says game is so fun, definitely a great play. Oh, talking about Helldivers, so many fun
Yeah.
moments.
Chill and I play Helldivers a lot.
Yeah, you blow me up a lot.
He blows me up a lot. He's always like, look at like the last minute, I'm dead.
So yeah, now Cold Knight says Starship was totally a judgment on fervent nationalism. The movie was, but if you read Robert Heinlein and you read deeper into Robert Heinlein, the man, he definitely had a very nationalistic streak. Definitely. Again, I wouldn't call it, because a lot of people like to refer to any kind of nationalism as fascism. I wouldn't refer to it as that, not Heinlein's. But Heinlein definitely believed in the citizen versus the civilian. That was definitely a core part of his belief structure. And you can tell that in the actual Starship Trooper book. And he also does one called Stranger in a Strange Land. I think he does. It's really, really good. That kind of gets into that. So yeah, I could talk all day, and we're going to have Jay on again. I told Jay, like, either Jay or Tony's going to have to come on and just do philosophizing with me, because we tear the house down. We'll go 8 fucking hours on that shit. Yeah, I would need more booze than I have on hand. And then it honestly reminds me of the movie Starship Troopers. It's an action movie that's not afraid to make fun of itself too. Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I got. And then honestly, what Halo ODST should have done this. Yeah, I kind of consider Halo ODST to be the last great Halo game. So does my friend Mark, who used to play Halo professionally. Like, I'll never forget, like, literally going and, like, our local EB Games at the time would literally close the store down early so that Mark could go practice his Halo in there. And like, we would go in
That's
there,
awesome.
we would literally have the store to ourselves. And like, I was just fodder. I couldn't do shit against this guy. Like, this guy could like run at full speed and get headshots with a sniper rifle. He was crazy. Like, and then the LR games, and then Yeah, with the Metal Gear collection, Belmont says that y'all were talking about earlier, they did get the smart move and let someone else make Contra Operation Galuga. Yeah, Way Forward is another studio that rarely misses. So I'm actually somewhat intrigued by it. I know I initially was kind of cold to that. I didn't like the art style, but it's grown on me. The new Contra's grown on me. I really hope for good things. And who knows, Belmont, maybe if that's successful, they'll revisit the game I consider Contra's twin for Konami, and that's Castlevania. I would
Careful,
really
you're
like.
gonna get him excited.
Yeah, it's Konami, so please don't get excited. But I'm just saying, like, it would make sense. It would absolutely make sense. Yeah, I hope they don't mess up the Snake Eater remake. They will. They will. Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. Have you seen what the fuck they're doing?
Yeah,
Have you seen what the fuck they're doing to Silent Hill 2? They're
that's
absolutely
funny.
gonna fuck it up. They're absolutely
I
gonna
yep.
fuck it up.
I was talking about that with Jay the other day because we spoiler alert, we shot a podcast and it's focused on horror games, and
Ooh, I'm there. I'm so
we
fucking
talked
there.
about that. Yeah, I'm excited. It's a good one. But yeah, we talked about how Silent Hill 2 is just gonna be not what it needs to be. They're already off to a bad start.
They put fucking Mary on the goddamn boxing poster.
Well, and I brought up the fact that the
No
he's not
subtlety.
supposed to be like he's not supposed to be like a fighter. He's just supposed to be a normal dude. And they
Yes,
got him like dodging and weaving and
he's
like
ridiculous.
and I'm like, well, he's not supposed to know. Like, yeah, I guess I could dodge in a fight, but like Jay and I pointed this out, like, we're not just gonna run out dual wielding pistols, OG like like we may know how to shoot a gun, but it's gonna be we're gonna break our wrist or something. But yeah, this dude's like dodging, weaving. Like I was like, no, they've ruined it. Like he's not supposed to know how to do that. They focus too much on the combat, and that's bad for Silent Hill.
I watched this abortion of a train wreck that they put out, the Silent Hill Ascension, where they literally like let people make these fucking mutant characters, and if they pay enough money, let them stick them into the fucking gaming experience.
You're
And
joking.
no, I'm not joking. Like, so iPatch Wolf, John, over on iPatch Wolf, was streaming this game, and it was so fucking jarring. Like, because one, the creative character that you do on there aren't the same level as the actual stuff going on. So all of a sudden you have like this much lower poly person with bright yellow hair. Like, she has bright yellow hair and she has a beard. And she just comes in the scene and she's like, "You're under arrest." And John is like, "What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck? It's so fucking jarring." Because it just looks so out of place. It's just this random, clearly a creative character that somebody made is
Right.
ridiculous. Purple suit and fucking like the most like a purple zoot suit and a lady with a beard and bright, I mean bright yellow hair. And it's just like they did that to be like Konami. They're doing this to fuck with you. They're doing this to fuck with you. Someone
Right.
else says in a later episode there's somebody with green, like they make him green or some shit. It's so fucking jarring with a horror game that's supposed to be psychological horror. So fucking
Well, and that
jarring.
was the one they just did. I don't know how involved Konami was with the
The
Silent Hill
message,
short
yeah,
message.
you were saying the short message was actually pretty okay.
It was so it was okay, but it's if you don't look at it like it's a Silent Hill game. If you look at it like it's a Silent Hill game, it's not good. Like it wasn't Silent Hill. I don't know what that was. That wasn't
Okay.
Silent Hill. And I talked about this with Jay. I don't do the I'm gonna call it walking sim horror game is what I'm gonna call it. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. It's my least favorite. And so
Basically the PT
I
clones. Yeah.
yes, and I'm not a fan of those. It was okay. Like I enjoyed the story of it. You know, I struggle with like anxiety and things like that, you know, depression. So it kind of like I was like, okay, I can connect with this. The music, I love the music. And I said that with Jay, like I love the music. But like the gameplay just it was not a Silent Hill game. Like and I don't know where you're at, but you're not in Silent Hill. I think you're in like Japan. China. I don't know where the
Okay.
hell you're at.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know what they were thinking. And like I said, I don't know how involved they were. I know this was like a passion project of somebody. Like I don't
Right.
know. But for like free, I guess you could be like, oh, it's free, Rads. You shut up, stop complaining. And you're absolutely right. I don't want my money back on the free game. I just want my time back. Like it wasn't Silent Hill.
So time,
Um,
yeah, time is their real currency, and that's the thing. Like, it's one of the things I touch on. Adam Smith, any actually any economist will tell you this. You can go from Adam Smith to Karl Marx, and they'll all tell you that the actual currency is time. Because let's say, for example, one person works. Uh, let's say one person works buys a couch. So yeah, you can
okay.
say the couch costs $200, but that couch actually costs radically different amounts depending on what you make. If you make $200 an hour, you paid you paid for that couch literally with 1 hour of work. If you make
Right.
$10 an hour, you work a long time to get that fucking couch. So our time is valuable, and some people's time
Absolutely.
is even like if you work and you don't make a ton of money, your time becomes really really valuable. And
Yep.
so yeah, that's what I always talk about, and it's one of the things I hate when games waste my fucking time, because it's the one thing. It's the one thing I can't get more of is time.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I'm really, really. I say I'm picky. I've got almost 400 fucking Switch games, but if you look at that library, but honestly, no shit though, that library is over 5,000 games now. So if you look at the full
The
library,
Switch?
it's like 5,000 fucking games, and most of them aren't worth a shit.
Holy crap.
That's a lot of shoveling.
Right.
And that's what I mean by, so it is curated when you look at the entire collection as a whole. It is a curation, for sure. Wow, damn Zoo. I'm glad I picked up my physical of P5 Royal. Now, no, don't hold me to that. That's what I hear. That's what I'm hearing. I think 90s handheld gamer or OJ would be a better source for that, and they might know a little bit more about that. But that's what I've heard, and I think it might have been one of them that said that, hey, they did a very limited print run on that because it's Atlas and they're fucking weird.
Alice is very strange.
I bought 13 Sentinels new, $60. Months later, went on sale, and I think GameStop was selling as cheap as $18. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Sega games, they duck fast. And then yep, anime girls for the dub. Chill says Iowa
Yep.
says
Yep.
Phoenix Resale said he did two thumbnails, one with his mouth closed and one with it open, and the one with his mouth open did way better. Cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that guy.
I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't. But yeah,
I can't. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
restricted.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Phoenix Resale would know, wouldn't he? Yeah, isn't that guy that literally tried to? Isn't that asshole that literally tried to take $1 from the $1 case in a pawn shop and say, "Hey, I found this in a $30 case," or $30 case said, "Hey, I found this in a $1 case. Sell it to me for $1." And the pawn shop said, "Get the fuck out of my shop." That fucking guy.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
tell him to get out too.
yeah,
What the hell?
if anybody would know about, what makes the most money, it would be that fucking guy. Like, he would be a good source for that. You know, some people really know how to play the money game, and he sounds like one of them. I got to put more anime girls in my thumbnails. Well, yeah, here's the problem with that though. Ask Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Name. That comes with some hate, because you'll get like the anti-anime like fucking Power Ranger squad after you, and they like
Power Ranger Squad.
they like to leave like fucking really rude comments, like, "Oh yeah, there's another fucking video with anime boobies." Like, yeah, you get that a lot when you do that. So it comes with both territories. Now, I personally love trolls. Anybody who knows my tendency to hunt trolls knows I love it. But some people don't want to deal with that shit, and so that might also be a factor. Just saying.
Zoo does enjoy his trolls.
Um, yeah, Chill collects, LOL. Yeah, laugh my ass off. The silence speaks on the Mario. Yeah, Super Mario 3D All Stars 10 out of 10. No, 90s. No, not at all. Super Mario 3D All Stars, at least in theory, is one of my nightmare completions on the Switch. It's one of my nightmares. But we will see. We will see if anything changes. Honestly, I get tired of all the boobs in anime and get annoyed. LOL. Well, yeah, I mean,
Like the fan service ones, yeah.
the fan. If it's just fan
Which is like
service, yeah,
90% of them.
yeah. Same with games like Street Fighter and stuff where they just put an emphasis on that stuff. Yeah, but it helps if you got a really good fucking fighting engine too, man. Like that helps. Street Fighter 6 is such a good game. Like I even if it's not on the Switch, game recognizes game. I recognize their greatness. I acknowledge Street Fighter 6 might even be my game of 2023, and that's saying something since it had
Oh
Baldur's Gate.
wow.
Yeah, it had Baldur's Gate 3 to compete with. So that's fucking saying something. Street Fighter 6 is incredible. How do you like 3D World Zoo? So I actually did a review. I'm going to redo that review with actual video editing instead of me just talking over screenshots, and I'm going to be doing that at some point in the next couple months. 3D World is the bridge that I talked a little bit about this with Inferno Fox. I view Mario 3D World and 3D Land as the bridge that nobody asked for and nobody wanted, but they're perfectly good games. So you've got the 3D Mario camp that wants the hub world, more exploration based, more star chaser kind of game. And you've got the 2D fans who want that tactile arcade style, fast paced gameplay of the 2D games.
Right.
And what they tried to do, and I can tell you where this came from because I was there the whole time. It was part of what Galaxy tried to do and failed. Is they don't like 2D Mario at Nintendo. They don't like it. They don't like to make it. Shigeru Miyamoto is on record saying, I've made that game before. I don't want to make that game again. So ever since they realized that 3D Mario doesn't sell as well as 2D Mario, what they've done is they've tried to build a bridge to 3D Mario. They want to take 2D Mario fans who buy lots of games and they want to move them over to 3D Mario to make 3D Mario a success. And one of the things they thought about was the first experience with this is it's too complicated. So they shipped New Super Mario Galaxy 2 with a fucking tutorial to show you how to play the game. You know, all you inbred dumb fuck 2D Mario fans, because that's how they think of us. You know, you can't fucking this is too complicated for your pea smooth brain. So here we're gonna ship a tutorial with no thanks Nintendo. It's not that I have a smooth brain. It's literally just that I don't like 3D Mario. Okay, I want 2D Mario. Make the game I want. That's what it was. Their next attempt was, oh, it's the flagpole. Never mind that only one fucking game has a flagpole. But it's the flagpole. So we just have to so what we'll do is we'll have 3D gameplay, but we'll have it moving side to side in a largely 2D fashion to where it's linear. And so what they did is they didn't make us happy on the 2D side. And the 3D Mario fans fucking hated it because they thought that what happened to us 2D Mario fans was happening to them now. And so nobody was happy with it, although they're perfectly fine games. But overall, I like 3D World. I do think 3D World had a problem with its disconnection. Like there's a snow level, and I was talking to Inferno Fox about this, where you select your level in the snow level and it drops you in the middle of like an African inspired savannah. And so there's no world cohesion, and I think that's actually very important to Mario. Even the best 3D Mario games have world cohesion. Like you've got Peach's Castle or you got Island Delfino. They're a real sense of place in the mushroom world. And a lot of the 3D games post Galaxy are just these void floats. It's like Bowser's Ninja Warrior course. Instead of being a coherent world, you're having an adventure through. And I actually think the coherent world is one of the most important aspects in Nintendo's properties. And I think when Nintendo ignores it, I think that's where you see the sales decline, irrespective of 3D and 2D. So now you've got, for example, Mario Galaxy, which is a really good 3D Mario game that gives you an amazing sense of where you're at in the world and a sense of cohesion. And it's doing, I think it's at like 25 million copies. And then you've got a game like Mario Wonder, which I think it underperformed. I still think it did. But it's still doing 12, 13 million copies. It'll easily do 20 million copies in its lifetime. And then you've got 3D World, where even though the level design is spectacular and the music is some of the best in the series, you've got sales around the 10 to 12 million on the Switch. And so I think you can do a game like 3D World, but I think they need to work on their sense of world coherency. think about it like this. You have the Sprixie Kingdom. That was the kingdom they were in 3D World, which is based on Fifanellas, which are female gremlins that are very mechanically inclined, so they can fix things. So why not give us a world that is a more mechanical world for you to explore and really put an emphasis on the Sprixies as a people? They didn't do that.
Right.
They completely missed that opportunity. Instead, gave us Grass World, Fire World. Here's Grass World and Snow World. Here's Fire World and Ice World. It just no coherency even. It's just here's a jungle in the middle of a desert themed world. It's
There's the theme right there.
it's very clear. Well, it would be if there was desert, you were in an oasis, but it wasn't that. It was literally the map is a desert, and when you select the level, boom, you're in the jungle, and
Right.
it's fucking lame, man. It's fucking really lame. Nintendo, work on your world building, please. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. So you just got to work on that. So Inferno Fox says, agreed, Iowa. It feels like the least common denominator approach to catching people's interest. Yeah, with the Animu, yeah, for sure. Iowa says, yes, it makes me feel perverted. I don't want anyone to see me playing or watching and, well, feel like a deviant. So, you know what, Iowa? I can give you a moment in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that made me feel exactly that way. Have you played Xenoblade Chronicles at all, RadBash? Have you played that game?
I didn't play 2, but I played the first one.
Okay. First one's not as bad, and let me tell you why. So you're going to meet a character that's one of the Nopon, which I don't like those little bastards anyway. So
Okay.
already you're on my fucking bad side with this because I got to play with this dumb little bastard that's in my party. So you got the Nopon, and he has a blade that he's made named Poppy.
Poppy.
Poppy is a young girl. Okay.
Okay.
Off to a really bad start here. It's an
I was about to say, I
anime
was like,
young girl that you upgrade and she becomes your blade, and a lot of the outfits are just it'll make you feel like a skis for sure. And so I didn't so I already don't like the Nopon. I never used this guy specifically because Poppy made me feel weird. It's like I don't want any part of that at all. I'm not saying that was even the intent, but when you pair anime with that kind of thing, there's some weird shit that happens, and there is a very strange fixation that I think a lot of people have and show. I'll give you another great example. I'm playing Trails right now. I'm trying to be a Trails guy like Brandon, right? And every other comment is like, "Oh yeah, motorboat them titties," or like you've got a young, like 14-year-old party member that everybody can't help but fucking hit on, and it's weird. It's really
yeah.
Weird. I don't like
bad,
it.
bad vibes. Bad vibes. Nope.
Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it. I'm not saying the game's bad. Not saying that. It's actually amazing. I compare it to a historical book I read called Lisbon, in the City of Light and the Shadow of War, because I really think Crossbell is Lisbon. I think it's a fictional allegory to the city of Lisbon during World War II, trying to maintain its neutrality between two warring powers. And it's a really cool concept. But then they throw all this weird shit in there. And I don't know what it is. Something about the anime style also just they seem to really, really focus. And part of it is Japan's fixation on youth. That's part of it. But all of the characters are drawn very, very youthful. I'm not going to say jailbait or anything, but they're all very, very youthful in their style. And I don't think that helps with this perception among non-anime fans either. Just saying. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. I just need people to understand how it's perceived by people outside the anime communities. It's perceived as kind of having kind of a weird, and of course there's the whole thing about lollies, the whole lolly thing being a fucking trope in anime. You know, I don't think that. So there's a lot of misconceptions about anime. I don't even think it's in a vast majority of anime, but there's enough of it there to where there is a stigma associated with anime largely. And I think that kind of explains some of the hate that the anime gets. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying these are my observations. So feel free
Right.
to murder me in the chat. Anyway, um, let's see. It's a lot of fun. It's a great remake. Final Fantasy VII. He says Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a great remake, which is awesome. Iowa says that would be cool. Pelicans dropping off the dropship troopers who then fight the Covenant or Flood and do certain objectives. That would be awesome on different planets. Literally a husband out looking for his wife, right?
Yeah.
90 says, so far I like a few troll comments I've had. And yeah, they're a lot of fun. And what I'll tell you what I do, 90s, I literally put them if I get a particularly good troll. Like I had one, I got my first troll comment, made me feel like I made it on one of my videos. And what I said was I literally like, hey, I feel like I'm a big boy YouTuber now. He told me my audio sounded like I was recording from a potato. And
I remember that.
that was fucking great. I'm like, okay, yeah. I said, no,
See,
it's actually a yam. Potatoes have too many calories.
90s, his trolls seem to think he's a robot. They're like, why don't you blink? I'm like, he's like, yeah, I blink, you just don't see it.
Fucking
And then they're
awesome.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
Hands rolled.
he's too fast. No, he's too fast for you. But I'm gonna have to look for that now. But no, I think he's just too fucking fast for you. Maybe up your fucking reflexes, trolls.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's what you need to do. All right, so we've actually bulldozed through the comments, and he says 10 out of 10 for the value zoo. I'm talking about Mario. Oh, 100%. You get all three of those fucking games for $30, I think it was.
Yeah.
Retail, fuck yeah. That's why I picked it up for $30. Why not? Like, and again, I can't. It's definitely part of the curation because I would never say 3D Mario are bad games, ever, because that would be fucking stupid. They're not my style of games, but they're not bad games. Just like Anuma Zelda. I'm not going to say Anuma Zelda is a bad game. Anuma Zelda is a fantastic game, polished to a mere shine, like most of Nintendo's big IPs. Just not for me. And it's not for most people based on the sales. Well, I had to throw that in. But anyway, so now I guess my question is there anything specific? Like you said that you guys on Super Retro Force are going to be doing more team-based content. So I do see, and I'm guessing that's probably still in the works. It probably takes a little bit more time to put together. But anything special you can tell us about, or are we still under wraps on that?
So, our first video is going to be a top 10. It was the easiest thing for us to do as a group.
Okay.
And you're absolutely correct. It is a little bit trickier to do because we require everybody shoots their own stuff and edits their own parts. I just then edit everything together, add the transitions, things like that, the intro, things like that. I fill in for people who miss if they don't get footage or music. I go in and get it and put it in. But it speeds the process up, but also can delay it because it's, communication. So let's say we're planning this in the chat because we have our own thing. And then so-and-so didn't read the chat. Then they're like, oh man, I feel left out. And they feel like they delayed it. And it's like, no, just go ahead and put it in. So that's kind of I would say the only like hiccup we've had is like, everybody's on at different times. So, things are getting planned and it's, trying to include everybody in it is kind of tricky, but it's still very new. So we're trying to figure out the best system that works. But yeah, we do have a top 10 on the PS2 coming out soon. That should be out in the next couple of weeks. And I know we were talking about starting a podcast where, a couple of us each time will rotate. That's we thought it'd be fun. So we'll rotate who's on it and, throw in. So like we're talking, I believe, physical media, the death of physical media. What's up with collecting with actually Fox. We're going to feature him in that. It's myself, John McBond, the Mad Belmont, and Inferno Fox. That'll be up on there at some point. But yeah, we kind of, as far as planning goes, we don't really have a whole lot planned just yet because we're trying to do one at a time. Kind of, since there's 10 of us, hey, let's do this. Everybody, here's the plan. And then once that's done, then we'll plan the next one. So no, nothing like, we're not like a big, like extravagant, like plan. Unfortunately, I don't have anything exciting to really say. I will say though, this PS2 video is hilarious. Some of the guys went, especially Caesar. Caesar went all out for his. It is the funniest thing. I was crying. It was so funny.
Well, and
So
Caesar,
no,
and Caesar just popped in. I said dropping by before I head for the road. Super Retro Force, baby.
Baby. Yeah.
So yeah, Caesar in the chat. By the way, Caesar absolutely got me turned on to this generation of gaming. What a guy! So he just out of the blue, this fucking guy sent over like 4 games. I haven't got through all of them, but I can't stop playing. There's 2 in particular I can't stop fucking playing, and I can't get to the other ones. And that is it's Skies of Revenge and Bloodwake. One is a plane game. It's like a aerial plane game.
Yeah.
And the other is a boat game.
Bloodwake is crazy.
Bloodwake is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible game. And the lore behind it, they have like the different nations and they've all got like the different factions and lore. And oh my God, Crimson Skies. Yes, High Road to Revenge. That's it. And that game, it feels so good to play that game too, the plane game. Crimson
Skies. Yeah, that one's good too. I played that way back when.
Those are I'm on this game level now where you're fighting like a Tesla plane or some shit. It's fucking crazy. Like literally, this plane is like electrical Tesla cannons and shit. And so you've got to try to take out this big Tesla bomber while you're also trying to like dodge. It's a fantastic air combat game. So yeah, Caesar is really, and then Caesar also got me to try the Mortal Kombat games of that era, Deadly Alliance, and he keeps he's like, you wait till you get to Deception. I'm just like, oh gosh, I the Crypt is so fucking addictive.
Armageddon is the best one of that time. Armageddon is amazing.
That's the 3rd one, right?
Yes, that's it goes.
Yeah, I'm building towards
Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon, Shalamonk somewhere in there. I don't remember where that falls. That's kind of like its own thing.
I am digging what I'm seeing so far. Like,
oh yeah, they're good. That was really good Mortal Kombat.
I'm tempted to call it peak Mortal Kombat.
I would be tempted to agree with you.
Which is a shock.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really, as much of a purist as I am, but no, the fact that you can literally like sidestep and so fucking much. Like, I don't know why more fighting games don't steal that. That's so fucking good. And it's novel. There was nothing like that at the time. And, there is another fighting game called Tao Thing that Caesar also threw in the box.
Oh, that was the knockoff Mortal Kombat. Like the guy wasn't doing Mortal Kombat anymore, right? And he went and made his own Mortal Kombat. Yeah. That one was interesting.
Okay, interesting, but not quite peak like Deception, Armageddon, Deadly Alliance. Okay.
No, it's good, but it's very, you could tell what they were trying to be, and given his history, it makes sense. But it's one of those I love to throw around the word hidden gems. It's my go-to thing is hidden gems.
Okay, yeah.
That's definitely a hidden gem on the original Xbox. I will say that.
Well, I'm telling you, it makes me all the more want to get a DVD player, like for sure. And again, I say that jokingly, but mad respect. Like I keep arguing with OJ about the fact that I don't think the Switch is going to pass the DVD player. Not macroeconomically, it's not. I think it's literally impossible. And here's my logic behind that, right? So I think we sold 155, 156 million DVD players, right?
Right.
Okay. So, but what years did those sell? Let's look at the PlayStation 2's life. PS2, and I like to use the year they came out. That's for the sales to match population. Right. So PS2 release. So PlayStation 2 released in 2000, year 2000. That's a lot. That's a lot of pop growth that Nintendo Switch is benefiting from, because Nintendo Switch launched in 2017, right? So we can be
Was it really only 2017?
2017 was Nintendo Switch. Yep. So my point is, if you begin to add in those macroeconomic factors, the Switch will undersell the DVD player. Now let's do something else. Nintendo Switch combined Nintendo's software markets, right? It combined their hardware, so it's both handheld and portable. There's another system that Sony had at the same time, PlayStation Portable. Let's look at what PSP sold. PSP total sales, 80 million units.
Wow.
PSP release date.
It's like
2005.
6? Oh, you're off.
So, if you combine the sales of the 80 million PSPs and the 155 million DVD players, you got a fucking chance at catching that. DVD player is still the second best-selling piece of hardware of best combo of all time for all markets. Second best, of course, because there's the Wii and the DS, which nobody will ever catch. Nobody will ever catch the two of those combined, ever. So that's my thing. As much as I love the Switch, if you compare the Switch sales to the DS and Wii sales, or the DVD player and PSP sales, Switch actually is a pretty weak performing console, I feel like. I mean, don't get me wrong, it did bangers for Nintendo, but it's much less impressive when you look at it as a whole, I feel like. And that's what gets me.
Maybe I've never like looked into everything as like a whole, because I've always just like
Well, you're like normal people. You just play games.
Yeah, and I always ended up just I always ended up having, I'm pretty grateful for, I grew up fortunate enough to be given, it wasn't the year everything came out, but a year or two later I would get the, the GameCube or the Wii or the things like that. So I had a little bit of everything. So I just never paid attention to, like, that was like the console wars stuff. I never,
which I don't.
I'd be playing Halo one day and then Mario the next.
I also don't engage in this for console war. It's, for me, it's a business interest. So I'm
that's cool.
It's my business mind kicking in. Yeah, if you're gonna talk to me about, well, because there's people that genuinely get mad about this shit. They're just like, well,
oh yeah,
fucking Sony out, PS5's doing fine. Calm down, bro. It's not that big a deal. It's not that. It's really not that big a deal. Are you a Sony shareholder? Are you a Nintendo shareholder?
You're a Sony shareholder. That's exactly what it is.
Like, is that because that's what you act like? And if you're really acting that bad, diversify your shit, man, because you shouldn't be that upset over one company underperforming. Like, you need to get your shit in other boxes, my friend. So, I don't know. Maybe get some commodities futures. Maybe kind of look at textiles. Maybe go look at big tech sector. Maybe do something besides park everything in fucking Sony or Nintendo. Like, maybe do that so you're not so worked up all the time. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, people that get mad, like this shit with Yuzu. Did you see this? Like this whole war. Like, have you seen the Nintendo fanboys and the Yuzu thing? Like, it's fucking crazy, man. So Yuzu was an emulator that allowed you to play Switch games. And again, like,
I did hear about that. How they got sued or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and like paying out.
And to be fair, legally, Nintendo had a hell of a case. And nobody wanted to see that go to court because of the precedent it might set. So they settled it, and that meant Yuzu's gone. But oh my god, you should have seen the fucking Nintendo fanboys come out and fucking gloat about it. Like, it was fucking crazy. It's just like, do you own Nintendo? Or are you in the Yamauchi family? Like, what the fuck is? Why are you so tied to this emotionally? It's not healthy, dog.
Some people, bro, they take it way too serious.
Well, you're a fucking Switch channel. You should understand. I don't.
I don't know.
No, I don't. Because I play fucking video games, and if you can get Breath of the Wild working on fucking Yuzu, and that's how you want to play it, more power to you, man. I don't care. I'm not gonna get, but well, that's Nintendo sales. That's sales Nintendo could have. I don't care. That's their fucking problem.
Yeah, that's a them problem. I don't care.
I don't have any investment in Nintendo anymore. And even when I did invest in Nintendo, I did not get this fucking worked up over other video game consoles or emulators or any of this shit.
Right.
Like, these guys gotta stop getting so worked up over what a corporation does or doesn't do. Like, in terms
and that's everything. Everything gamers stop caring so much. What, like, I get it. Like, but like it's at the end of the day, it's video games, dude. It's
Yes,
video
it's
games.
not
Like
that
this
important.
is
It's not.
exactly.
It's really not.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what it is. I can explain it because again, I come from a cognitive science background. That was my first educational background, was cog sci, right? And so what's
Hmm.
going on, I can tell you what it is it, like you said, part of why you maybe don't have this, and I had kind of a similar. Um, I any system I wanted throughout my life, I could play. You know, if I wanted to play it, I could play
Right.
it. If I didn't play it, it's because I didn't want to. Now, sometimes that's ignorance, as I'm starting to be shown with the DVD player and the Xbox. But
Right.
sometimes that's just me being a stubborn ass. But in general, I would have access. Like we had a N64 in the house that I still, heck, we talked about loving Shadows of the Empire, you know, shit like that. Um, Xbox with Halo. I used to play Halo with my friends all the time. So I have experiences with these consoles. But what it is a lot of people, it's not the fact that they care about Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft or Steam or what is it? Yeah, Valve. It's not that they care about these companies in and of themselves. They care about their identity as a savvy customer. So if this system,
Mm,
that's what it is. It's their self ID. It's self ID is what it is. So a person who looks, so if I bought a Switch and I look and see how good the Switch is doing and how bad the other two are doing, that elevates me in my mind, and that helps with my consistency principle of wanting to be consistent with my past actions. And I can look at that and say, I made the right decision on this console. Same with the Sony fan
right.
who bought a PS2 and laughs at the GameCube and how bad it did. Now, I laughed at the GameCube and how bad it did because I'm looking at it from a business mind. But a lot of people shit on the GameCube and the Wii U. Oh, the Wii U in particular. OJ talks about how bad the Wii U era was. If you were a Nintendo fan, but those people are
I'll say
looking.
because I love the Wii U, but I
Yeah.
definitely don't think it sold as well as it should have.
Oh, yeah. Well, OJ literally talks about how much shit he took throughout that era being a Nintendo fan. It was a tough era. And I can imagine being a Nintendo or RPG centric channel, and like the system you prefer to play on, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, how's that Wii U doing, bud?" Like, yeah, that sucks, man. That
Right.
I'm so glad I wasn't there for that, but wouldn't have been because I didn't have a Wii U. But besides the point, point being is, if the system's not doing well that I bought, I feel like I'm a bad consumer. And if the system's doing well, I feel like a good consumer. And that's what's at play there. It's an
Mm.
ego thing. It's a pride thing. And it's fucking stupid and it's fucking irrational. But human beings are stupid and irrational a lot of the time. And our cognitive
No,
science is all
true.
kinds. We're all kinds of fucked up as far as our cognition. We just are. So Scorpio says I had to correct so many parents that it wasn't a controller for the Wii. Yeah, I worked at Nintendo in New
Yeah.
York City. Yeah, he told that story. That's really cool. Nintendo at New York City during the Wii U launch. Oh man. And then he says consoles were meant to be loved, and they were. Caesar is Nintendo New York. Remind me, I've been there, but is that the Nintendo store that has the Game Boy that literally survived the Persian Gulf War? Like that
Oh, I've
Game
seen
Boy that's
that.
still
Yeah,
it's
it's all
so
like blown up and
dude,
stuff.
it's so
Yeah,
fucking cool. Like, and you can literally still turn it on, it still plays. Still fucking plays.
that's
That's
crazy.
that's really they don't make, that's one thing I'll say give to Nintendo. They don't, and it's one thing I think the Switch might be one of the first consoles that has problems with because it's the first console that uses that NVIDIA architecture instead of their own custom
Mm.
architecture. I wonder how long lasted the Switch is going to be too for that reason. Because Nintendo for this is the first time they didn't use their own internal shit. Yeah, Mad Billmont, that's the store. I thought that's the one I visited. When I was in New York, I saw that. And I thought that was the one. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not Tokyo. I'm pretty sure that's in the New York store. But it's in one of those that I visited the Nintendo store, and it was the Game Boy there. Yeah, okay. You ever been to Tokyo, man?
No,
Gotta go. Gotta go sometime.
I want to. I want to.
Dude,
It's on my list.
and also, if you get an opportunity, get to northern Japan. Some of the most
Okay.
beautiful scenery you'll ever fucking see. It's so pretty. up there. If you go in like the spring and it's really pretty, really fucking pretty. But yeah, Belmont confirms that's the store. So now I guess the thing is, are you now in terms of Super Retro Force getting back out of the comments now? In terms of Super Retro Force, do you see this team is continuing to grow, or are you going to continue to add members as time goes on, or is there a certain number you want to cap this at, just for cohesion
So
purposes?
to start, we capped at 10. Just to start, we've talked about bringing 2 people on. No specific people. Just we were talking about adding up to 12.
Okay.
But no, we would like to see this grow and be as big as it possibly can. Now, a big thing we do is we have to support each other, obviously. So the more people we add, the harder it becomes to support each of us, because it's more than just we all do solo stuff, obviously. So a
Right.
big part is, supporting, like if a video comes out, we need to be on top of it, sharing, watching, supporting our fellow members. So the more people we add to that, the harder that gets, especially when some of our guys will upload daily. It becomes a lot, and luckily we're all pretty chill. So it's no one gets mad or anything like that. Like when I have time to get to it, the guys know I'll get to it. I always will.
Well, and it helps when you
So
legitimately enjoy the content too. And by the way, I can tell you,
exactly.
I'm finally starting to feel that to where, man, I want to find the time. And it's not even it's like a chore. I want to find the time to watch all these videos, but
Right.
at this point, it's getting harder and harder because I keep meeting so many great content creators that all make so much great shit. And it
Yeah.
is getting kind of hard. So I would say the same thing with me. Not that I'm affiliated with anything. I'm kind of a solo, but always be a friend of your channel, Jay's channel, etc. But long story short, be patient with me. I will get to it. I will share it. I don't like to share things if I haven't watched it though, because I like to
Oh,
say
I'm the same.
yeah, I like to have something to say about the shit I've watched. Whether it's in the comment section or more often than not, what I'll do is I'll give a good write up on Twitter to kind of say, hey, here's what I thought, or here's some thought. I like to give it a good write up to kind of summarize the video to try to bring more
Right.
people to it. And so I want to. That's kind of my way of helping. So be patient with me. I'm not ignoring you. I promise I get to everybody. I do, and it's just becoming hard as I kind of grow my network of people that I deal with and content creators that I like. It gets harder and harder. Like I know fucking hell, Eye Patch Wolf just put out a new Wooly versus a new um a Wooly it's him and Wooly from Super Best Friends.
Mhm.
They do a podcast now called Versus Wolves. And he's got a new episode out, and they're literally talking about fucking Omicron, which that was one of my favorite Super Best Friends playthroughs fucking ever, was their Omicron playthrough. I still suspect that it destroyed their friendship, actually. That game was so fucking
Yeah.
bad, it actually led to the dissolution of the Super Best Friends.
That's David Bowie Dreamcast, yeah?
Yeah, the game was so
Yeah,
fucking bad.
it's on my list to get because I'm like, this just looks like a train wreck.
Um, yeah, if you really want to make my day, you know what your Super Retro Force should do? You should let's play that game. But I don't want to tell you to do that because no, I literally watched, like, they called it the sadness playthrough. And I'll never forget, they were about 14 episodes in, and Matt and Pat lived together at the time. And
Okay.
Wooly lived down the hall from them, right?
Mhm.
I'll never forget, like, and part of it was for the laughs, but part of it looked legit. So you got Pat sitting there staring at his cereal that he just poured, and just staring at the cereal. And then Matt walks in, and he just looks at Pat, and Pat looks at Matt. And then Wooly walks in, and he looks at Pat, he looks at Matt, they look at Wooly, puts his head down, he just walks and sits on the couch and waits for them. They say they sigh, they get up. Pat hadn't even eaten his fucking cereal yet to go play more of the sadness that is Omicron. Like, legit look serious. Like, they did not enjoy playing that game at all. So be careful if you do that.
Well, and that's something we, not specifically that one, but it might go on the list. That is something we want to do though, is group let's plays. Even if it's just we all get in a call and one of us plays and some of us just watch.
Buddy,
We've talked about doing that.
if you can recreate even a fraction of the rapport and greatness of the Two Best Friends play series, oh my God, like you'll be doing me such a favor. I miss those guys so much. You're a horror fan, right?
Yes, very much so.
Tonight, I don't care what you're doing. Get on and watch their Shitstorm of Scariness series. All of it.
It's Storm of Scariness.
Yeah, type in Two Best Friends Shitstorm of Scariness. Just type that in. I want you to have that at the ready because you need to check that out, man. Like you have to see this.
Got it. Matt and Pat's.
That's it.
Storm of Scariness.
That's it.
Oh, they did Obscure. Nice. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that.
The Two Best Friends are some of my favorite content on YouTube for a long time.
Okay.
In terms of Let's Play content, but they're a defunct channel now. Like Woolie's still around. He does stuff with iPatch Wolf. John from Super iPatch Wolf, who's another fantastic content creator. John's in the John's a 1 million sub channel though. He's huge.
Wow. I didn't realize he got that high.
I think John's huge now. He has some interesting stories about that too, as far as just he's a great guy too. Wooly, and God, Woolie's on my bucket list to talk to. I don't know Woolie. Like I talked to John a little bit. Woolie I've never talked to, but Woolie, if you ever hear this, like your bucket list, man. I would love. And here's my proposition to you. Okay, and this is if Matt, Pat, or Woolie are listening, which you're not, but we know that David Cage, also known as David Cage, because he's got to be fancy boy. We know he's going to make another fucking train wreck of a game. We know this. Can you fucking guys put whatever beef has happened to rest enough that if Davide Cage makes another game, can you guys at least come together long enough to let's play the David Cage game? Because, by the way, hold on any of the David Cage games, any of them, whether it's Indigo Prophecy or
I have that.
Or Beyond Two Souls, or
I have that one.
The Beyond Two Souls playthrough is fucking ridiculous. It's so funny. Oh God, they just destroy those games. They're so funny to watch. They're so goddamn funny to watch. So I would hope that if David Cage ever curses us with another game, that you'll at least come together to fight the great evil that is among us. Game overs are a failure of the game design. I'll never forget David Cage, man. That's a whole nother fucking rabbit hole. But yeah, that's good to hear because that's one of the things I thought of is, on one hand, 10 seems like a pretty good number to keep it at, but eventually, like if you get too big, coherency gets to be a problem. Collaborations can get to be. So there's probably at a certain point you'll probably want to cap that. But I was just curious to see if you were still interested in adding members, or if there's a magic number that you would cap it at. Or...
Yeah, and like I said, right now we're looking to add 2 more, but we're gonna be very like, okay, because we don't want to add somebody. We want to add somebody, 1, we like as a person, 2, has the same goals as us, 3, their content is good. Like we don't want to add somebody who's talking about sports when that's not really tied to what we are. We are a gaming group, so it wouldn't make much sense.
So yeah, hey, check out this sports asshole.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and we're gonna be able to help them in any way. Like the part of it is like, hey, go check out my guy who talks about this game because I like this game. We can send people in all of our directions versus where that guy would be like, hey, if you want to talk about sports, he's your guy. Like anybody knows me knows I can't confidently like promote that. Like I'm not a sports guy, so it'd be like that's Bill and he plays football.
Not a sports ball enthusiast.
Nope,
not
no
an
sports
enthusiast of
ball
the
here.
sports ball. Um,
Nope.
so Phantom Cat Bunch is here. What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Yeah, hope you've had a good night. And then Phantom says, I loved Indigo Prophecy. So I am not making a judgment on the game. I've never played it. I've never played any of Davide's games. So I can't make a value judgment on that. I will say they're very, very, very fun to watch Let's Plays of. In particular, if it's the two best friends and Wooly playing it. Like, the fight scenes were absolutely wild. Fucking A. When that phantom bug pops out and you have to fight the bug, like, what the hell was that? I don't know. I still don't know, but it was entertaining for sure. um oh goodness. So anything else you wanted to talk about in terms of your project? Let them know where to find you, anything like that as well. I want people to know. And by the way, if you haven't already, definitely go sub and check out the Super Retro Force and all the associated content, because it's going to be good stuff. I got to get on board with some of it too. There's several folks I haven't had the pleasure of checking their content out yet, but that will change after tonight. I'll start to maybe probably spend a little bit of time this weekend exploring that while I do my Morrowind modding setup and get that straightened out. Be a good time to get to know y'all, because I'd like to get to know y'all, and hell, maybe sometime down the line we'll have a big barn burner where we have a fucking chaos and have all fucking 10 of you on.
That would be exciting. And you're actually not the first person to bring that up. The Rushmore guys wanted to do that as well. They're like, we'll have all of you on. I'm like, I mean, if you can handle that, like, that's a lot of people. Like, that's a lot of
the
people.
Rushmore guys are also. I definitely want to get them on at some point too. They seem like really cool cats.
Kirk and Andy are cool.
Yeah, they seem like, I like their concept of like doing like a genre or something and doing the Mount Rushmore. It's a really cool concept. Like, that was really
the
creative.
top fours, and then
Top four.
switch each like I think right now they're doing music. They just finished like 2 months of video games, and they always change it. It's pretty neat.
It's a really cool. Yeah, I think they'd be really interesting to talk to. So yeah, they've kind of also joined that list of people I eventually want to get on. Also talking to Joey Ferris. I think he'd like to come on at some point. That'd be pretty cool. I'm not committing him because he's a busy guy. He's actual game journal. But open invitation if you want to come on, man. That's open. I'd love to talk to you about Metroid in particular. But yeah, I'd love to have all you guys on. But yeah, 100%. So I guess we'll go into the next phase, which is, do you have any questions for me this time around? Anything I can answer?
Oh, Zoo.
Give you a chance to grill me. Give you a chance to grill me on anything.
No, everything I've ever needed to ask you, I've always found out. You have a very interesting brain. Like, that's all I know.
So I guess we can explore that a little bit. Let's kind of expand on that. So what do we mean by interesting? Because it's always kind of interesting to get other people's takes, because a lot of folks say that. A lot of folks, and it surprises me, but I guess at this point it shouldn't. A lot of folks are like, there's not anybody else I've really talked to like you.
No, that's a solid point.
Interesting.
You see, the way I look at you, I'm very confident in this. You are very strong opinionated, but you always have the facts to back up your opinion. You don't ever just pull anything out of the blue. Like, you know what you're saying before you start saying anything, and I respect that.
Yeah.
You not many people can make me feel like an idiot, but you have succeeded in. I'll truly believe I'm correct, and then you'll pull out the facts, and I'm like, well, crap.
Well, and
I was wrong.
And to me, that's kind of a weakness. I don't ever want to make anybody feel like an idiot. Because I'm all.
Oh, I like it.
Okay, well, yeah. As long as if I teach you something new, that's different than making you feel lesser. Like, I never want to do that. But
oh no.
One of the ways, and I think that's maybe what you meant, which that makes me feel better. If that's
that's what I meant. It wasn't like it's not a bad, like, you correct my knowledge. I appreciate that, because then I don't sound stupid when I say something. Like, I can go, oh, okay, no, Zeus said this. This is how, like you. How what were you talking about? It was we were talking about Wonder, and you were explaining like how it's all tied into this. I never knew any of that. Like you were explaining how Mario's tied into this and how that's based off a story.
Alice
I
in
didn't know
Wonderland.
that.
Yeah, Alice in
Yeah,
Wonderland.
I didn't know that. Like that was cool to find out because I had no
Well,
idea.
and to be fair, it's very hard to find that because Nintendo has taken great gains to scrub a lot of that, or to
Right.
rewrite that history. Because yeah, like never mind that like you literally have Miyamoto, like interviews of Miyamoto's in the '80s talking about this. Now they're just like, oh no, it's not, no, that's not what we meant. Yeah, motherfucker,
Right.
yes it is. It absolutely is. And also, don't everything comes from something. Like for some reason, there's this great sin in creatives where they think it's this great sin to be inspired by something. It's not a great sin at all. There's nothing fucking new under the sun. Shakespeare
Oh
himself said, "I'm just holding a mirror up to nature." And you're not better than fucking Shakespeare. You're not a better writer than fucking
no,
Shakespeare.
no.
You're not a better
Yeah.
observation of human beings than William Shakespeare. Nothing about any of you is better than William Shakespeare. All these fucking creative brain fart people. Nothing about you is going to be better than William Shakespeare or Herman Melville or fucking Nabokov or any of these great writers and influencers. And there's nothing about you that's anywhere close to that. There's nobody in the current video game market has written anything close to something like a Chibe's Things Fall Apart or Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. Nothing close. So this idea that, oh, I can't publicly say I've been inspired by one of these great works. Get off your high horse. You're on that horse so
Yeah.
high I can't even see you right now, dude. Please, for the love of God, climb off the horse. I look up and I can't see you. You're a fucking game dev, and it's nothing. There's nothing to sneeze at. More and more, we're starting to tell really good stories, and gaming's starting to come into its own as a story element. But y'all got a
Right.
long way to go. You're a young medium. You're babies. You're fucking babies compared to books or film or plays.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and you honestly, so. But part of that is understanding that because you're so young, a lot of what you all do is imitation, and it just is. And
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that. Even Shakespeare even said, "Hey, I imitate nature. I observe people,
Yeah.
and I observe a lot of Shakespeare's more nuanced takes." I'm reading a great play right now by Shakespeare. I just started Coriolanus, which is the play about the politician.
Okay.
And I'm in a scene where a mob has shown up outside his house to beat him, basically. Like they're angry with him because of the decision he's made. And he comes out and literally basically reverse psychologies this mob away from his doorstep. And the wordplay between him and the mob is so fucking good. And so essentially how Coriolanus does it, and this is, by the way, and this is how I know Shakespeare's one of the goats, is he understands people in a way that, like, this is cog science stuff. This is stuff that cognitive scientists didn't prove until way later. So if
Right.
you ever find yourself talking to a mob, don't talk to the mob. That will get you beaten, killed. Don't talk to the mob. What you do is you say, "Who's in charge here?" And what that'll do is there might not be anybody in fucking charge. There usually it's a mob. There usually isn't. But say, "Who's in
Right.
charge here?" And then that'll slow their rabble down long enough to think, "Man, who is in charge here?" And then somebody will usually step forward and say, "Well, I guess I'm in charge," and talk to that person. And that's what Coriolanus did. Talk to, all right, you, the cobbler, you, what's your grievance? And it was an amazing thing. This is one of, I think, Shakespeare's more underrated plays,
Okay.
and I can't wait to see where it goes. But the point being is that, yeah, um, don't be afraid to crib from the greats. Like I said, my whole fucking thing is kind of a live riff on cold takes. That's what it is. Like, and again, I hope that makes Jay feel good. I hope he doesn't think I'm robbing him or anything. But hey, all art is imitation.
Right.
But yeah, the other thing that Rush Dog mentioned too is he's like, for somebody who's so opinionated, you do have a tendency to be able to change your mind, and that's very interesting to him. He said. As he said,
Oh,
like
I agree.
the fact that you can be talked out of a position, even though you're an ass, you're a very sure-footed asshole about your position sometimes. But if you come to me with the facts, and there's been a couple people do it, Rush Dog's one of them that's done it. Like Rush Dog had this great moment in Jay's Discord where I opened up my big fucking mouth and I said something to the tune of, well, the PlayStation, the N64 abandoned the 2D gamers, and so that's where PlayStation's success came from. And he's like, "Zoo, you're full of shit. PlayStation actively tamped down on 2D games. They really push 3D. All of the best-selling games for PlayStation is 3D. Here's the list of PlayStation best-selling games." And I had to sit here and think to myself for a second. And I said, "Oh, well, but R-Type Delta." He's like, "That's one game, Zoo. There's
It's
50
one
other
game.
fucking games on. Like you're in cogdis." And I thought to myself, like, yeah, goddamn, I am in cogdis right now, aren't I? I'm in cognitive dissonance, trying to back up my position, and that's nowhere you want to be. So at that point, it's like, okay, at that point, it's best to cede because it's either that or you go into cognitive dissonance and you embarrass yourself in front of everybody publicly. And that's
Right.
what a lot of people on the internet don't understand, and they look ridiculous trying to do it. I won't do that. Like if I'm shown as not having the facts, I will change my opinion around the facts. You have to. You've got to do it. And it sucks. Sometimes it sucks to be wrong. But that's why one of my main
Oh yeah.
slogans is it's okay to be wrong. And a lot of times
Right.
people take that as me being really arrogant because we'll be having a conversation and they'll say something and I'll say, "Yeah, it's okay to be wrong." And they get really mad at me, but I'm also talking about myself. That goes
Right.
double for me. So
It's okay to be wrong.
it is absolutely okay to be wrong. And sometimes it's the only way we learn.
That is
And,
100% true.
and Belmont was there for that. Yeah. And then Rush pulled a double whammy and in the same paragraph showed that the Sega Saturn was a 2D oriented system. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that was a very humbling conversation. I remember that now, Belmont. Yes. So yeah, it's very memorable. Yeah, when I mean he pantsed me in that fucking combo. Like and I thanked him for it because he taught me something I didn't know. And that's what I get for running my mouth about a generation I was basically absentee from. Like that's what I get. I wasn't there. And like he said, "Zoo, you weren't fucking there, man. What are you talking about? You weren't even fucking there." And so that's where that frontline experience does come in handy when you're talking about a certain gaming generation.
Right.
So yeah, for sure, 100%. Um, so you mentioned there were some big channels that were also starting to kind of get eyes on you. How's that feel?
Oh man. I want to say it was a nice feeling, but it was more so like, oh man, like it was worrisome because it's, can we? It feels like there's a lot of hype behind this, because like I said, we have some pretty big names on the team. So a lot of us little guys are like, oh, we got to keep up, we got to match. So we don't want to, disappoint anybody. And I always make the joke, like we joke about this. We don't want to be the next normal boots, so we have an agreement where nobody gets any controversy. Um, so I always worry that someone's like expecting like,
Man,
oh, a big fallout, and I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna have that.
man,
Like, I
how
trust
are you
everybody.
well, I'm glad you trust them because goddamn, with that many people, how the fuck are you going to avoid drama? Whether it's not so much from in, but from without, man. There is so
Oh
much
yeah,
goddamn drama in this fucking space, man.
and I expect it. I know there's gonna be certain people who don't like the idea of us. I know there's gonna be certain. I know people who don't like me personally. Who are gonna be like, oh, you have rad on that? Oh, like it's bound to happen.
Which is
Um,
crazy because you're such a down to earth dude.
it it
Like not liking me. I get people not liking me. I'm an asshole, but
but
you've never been
it's
anything but very cordial and very open with me. I mean,
You know, like I know there's still people who are upset with the whole thing that happened with Jay and I,
Well,
which
get the
amuses my
fuck
soul
over
because
it. Get over it.
that's Jay and I literally talk daily. We're collabing, so I'm like, hey, I mean, if you're still upset about it, cool, I guess, whatever. There's people who don't like me just because I wear a mask. You know how many people don't show their face on YouTube? That's stupid. Like, that's a
Yeah.
stupid thing. Like, yeah, so it just,
I'm a
you know,
drunk fucking ghost. Nobody's ever seen me. Well, that's not true. A few lucky motherfuckers in Jay's Discord saw my face for a brief minute.
It's there's people who see my Foxes see my face, Ferals see my face, Jays see my face. Like it, I'm not hiding any. This is my gimmick. Like I take it off and there goes my gimmick. Like I'm just talking about video games like every other person on the internet. Like that's
Right.
boring. This just helps me stand out a little bit. So
Well,
I
it
don't
stands
understand why
out, but
people don't like it.
yes. Is that where you? By the way, is that where you got the dork from in the skull mask? Did that come from a troll?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
very.
He said I was a dork
love.
wearing a mask. I'm a dork in the skull mask. I embraced it. I was like, hey, cool.
That is very zoo. I fucking love that. I fucking love it. That's what I do. Every one of my tags on Twitter, every one of my bio is something I've been called. Every one of those.
Oh, see, I put it in my YouTube tag. So if you look up the dork in the skull mask, I pop up because I purposely made it to where it's my thing now. I'm not ashamed of it. Like
no, it's fucking great.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like embrace your enemy's attacks. Make that your strength, not your weakness. When your enemy attacks you, make it like the guy told me, hey, you have potato audio? No, that's my strength now, man. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to spend fucking $5,000 on audio to be a hobbyist YouTube creator. I'm not going to do it.
No, yeah, and that's it. And that's one dude who was like, he told me, he's like, no one's going to take you serious in the mask. Good, don't. I wear a mask. You would have to be crazy to listen to somebody.
Take me seriously, motherfucker. I'm a fucking guy talking about video games.
Yeah, I'm not giving you life advice.
My avatar is a fucking drunk ghost with a fucking switch in his hand. What the fuck are you talking about?
If I was telling you how to guide yourself through like marital status or marital problems, yeah, you might not want to listen to me. I'm talking to you about like hidden jet, like maybe you didn't know about this Super Nintendo game, like that.
Take me seriously. I'm not here for people to take me seriously.
No,
I'm here to talk about fucking video games. What the fuck?
Yeah, and what's funny is the people who they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy in the skull mask." Well, obviously you remember me, so something worked. like that.
So there's a great story that I'll try to tell as sensitively as possible. But there's a famous black author that named his book a very nasty word that I hate, would never use. And people ask him, why would you name your book that? He said, because every time they say it, they're selling my book.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, this is a black gentleman, so he can do that. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Embrace the hate people throw at you.
Oh yeah.
Like absolutely embrace it. Make it your strength. People don't it was I think it was Rocky, the movie where they said, yeah, don't attack their weaknesses, attack their strengths.
It's the internet. I don't care about anybody. Like, okay, you don't like me. You don't even know me, dude. We've never met. We've never.
And see, this is why we get along so well. That is a very, very zoo outlook right there. And that's my whole thing. Like, we're fucking YouTubers talking about fucking video games. It's like, yeah. I don't know what the fuck parasocial thing. This weirdo who's mad at me for audio. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know, and I don't care. I don't have to care. It's again, this is an obvious video on YouTube that you're watching for fucking free, dude. Like, I don't care.
Somebody commented on one of my hidden gems video, and I died laughing. This was so funny. God. And so this guy goes, this is a hidden gems video, and this guy goes, I've literally never heard of this game. Bad pick. What do you think a hidden gem is?
Nice.
You're not supposed to know it. Like, I'm not talking about a mainstream game. And I just, dude, I was dying. I was like, awesome. Someone needs to explain to homie what a hidden gem is because I've never heard of this. I'm like, well, that's the point. I'm like,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you dumb sack of pig shit. What the fuck do you think it is? Oh my god.
you're not supposed to know it. So yeah, the internet's wild. I smile
It's
and wave. Like, that's
but
it.
see, this is part of what I love about the internet is I love the Wild West nature of it. I fucking love it. I love the anonymity of the internet. We've talked about this, how it's part of what
Yep.
makes it so fun. Now, I get that there are some people that use it really irresponsibly and they use it to basically act however and to say whatever they want. And they're
Yeah.
fucking slowly but surely eroding this anonymity and ruining it for all of us. Like right now, you've got like every social media platform. I think Twitter is even talking about it. I read somewhere about how they're wanting to talk about getting a phone number attached. Like it's so fucking intrusive and unbelievable. And it's just
Yeah.
pretty
No.
soon they're going to sanitize the internet. They're going to scrub it. You're not going to be able to say anything that might offend the advertisers, and I hate that shit, man. I absolutely hate that shit. And again, I'm not saying that people should go around being irresponsible with their anonymity. That's what's causing that to happen.
No.
You're falling right into what
Right.
they want. You're making it easy for them. But we're going to lose something very special the moment we have to put our face and our ID to everything on the internet. We're going to lose something special. For one, not that I'm super special, but I'm gone. I'm fucking gone. I'm a
Yeah.
literal ghost
I'm
if
out.
it happens. I'm out. Yeah, I'm not sticking around because I kind of like the
I'm not showing my face.
right.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't need to do that.
Oh,
If
do you
that's a
ever get that?
requirement,
Because
I'm gone.
I get it a lot. Hey, show your face. Why don't you show your
Yes.
face?
Yes.
That's
All the
my
time.
favorite.
It's
That's my
so
favorite.
annoying.
That's my favorite.
I have a video, spoiler alert, because I do the series Ask a Rad where you ask questions, and I always get, why do you wear a mask? What's with the mask? Why are you wearing a mask? Well, take the mask off. I literally have an episode dedicated to why the mask and how I explain that I will never take the mask off. This is rad. The rad is the mask. I take the mask off, I'm not rad anymore. Like why would I take it off?
Yeah, why do I wear the
That
mask? Because your fucking mom likes it when I'm porking her. That's why.
He does.
Like,
She's a
fuck
big
off.
fan of the
Yeah,
mask.
big fan
Where
of
do
the
you think
mask.
I got the name Rad Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. That's the Rad Daddy, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why. Next question. But yeah, man, just unbelievable to see. That's my favorite. And then also, my boy Hylian Hero got mad at me. He unfriended me over this, but it was he's the one that called me physical caveman. He's like another fucking
Physical caveman.
He's another physical caveman, fucking waving his club against the inevitable. I'm just like, no, I'm not a physical caveman. I want people to be able to buy digital games too. I just want to be able to buy my physical games. Sorry that offends you so
Yeah.
much, dude.
I like having the choice.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about. Like, yeah, every game should be digital and physical because that's more options.
Yep.
It's more ways to play.
Yep.
That's all of that. I guess another question comes up. What do you think? What do you think about the state of AAA gaming and how even Spider-Man 2, which sold millions and millions and millions of copies, laying off? First of all, when you're laying off people from Insomniac, like that's literally the holding up Sony's world right now.
Right.
Like, and then you got Sony coming out saying we're halfway through this generation. Like, we're on a decline now. Like, motherfuckers, you've got like 7 exclusive games. What are you talking about? And part of me thinks that a big part of this is the fact that just these costs, and it's what I've been saying for a long time. It was the Wii proposition and why the Wii said we've got to get these game budgets under control. That's part of what the Wii was for. And why Nintendo went to a model of not being at the max of technological progress. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're going to course correct, or do you think they're going to crash this plane? What do you think?
I think it's gonna crash.
I think so too. I think we're heading
Yeah.
toward a. I think that there's going to be a hell of a place for indie development moving forward.
Yep.
I think the indie development is going to just explode. But I kind of think AAA gaming is in a change or die scenario over the next 5 to 6 years, and I think they're going to
AAA
change
gaming
that.
is a joke.
It is.
It's a joke at this point. Let's be honest. Some of the best games I've played recently are indie games. Let that sink in.
They
Indie
are.
games made by like 1 or 2 people I've enjoyed. I played this triple. I picked up Spider-Man 2. I was so excited. I put it down. I got bored. Like it just these AAA games just are they're oh well I'm buying a physical that does the game's not even actually on. And again, yeah, I'm a collector like that just doesn't upset the normal people, but like it upsets me, or I'm forced to have to these big companies want a Alan Wake 2. They're like, oh yeah, Alan Wake 2 is not coming out physical. I expect that from an indie developer, but you got Remedy, like, dude, what? How did it not get a physical? It's like I don't know. The AAA game developers are acting like they're indie developers, and it's so weird to me. And then like they're firing everybody. Everybody's got fired.
I know.
Like from like thousands, like so many companies. Everybody's got fired. I'm like, dude,
Now-
what the hell? Like what happened?
Now, one thing I want to do is I do want to put this in perspective for people that may not know the wider economic things that are going on. So I think it's important to put that in perspective. Basically, so yeah, there are layoffs going on in gaming, but
A lot.
I need people to understand layoffs are going off everywhere right now.
Oh yeah.
The entire world is laying people off because, and this is what I was talking about. And people who listen to me a lot know on Twitter and here know that I talk a lot about. I have a lot of skepticism as to whether or not we need a new generation of video games right now, because I've been telling people for a long time we're going into an economic recession or depression. It's coming.
We didn't even get the last generation. I still haven't seen an actual PS5 game.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we never got the last one.
It's not the time. It's just when macroeconomic waters are this turbulent, when the geopolitical situation is this turbulent right now, it's not the time for brand new products that cost this much money. It's just not.
I can't afford it. I can't. Their video games are almost $100 a piece now. I can't afford that.
Fucking people can't afford to even. I mean, fuck, eggs are what, $20 now? Last time.
Oh, dude, I was at the grocery store the other day just for 6. I'm talking 6 eggs. It was like $4. I was like,
Jesus,
$4 for 6 eggs is outrageous. I just wanted brownies. I was like, nah, I'm not even getting. I'm not doing it. Yeah, it's bad. There's a McDonald's in my area. I'm not even joking. It's 90% like robot. Like there's no people taking your order. There's no people like it's all like. I'm like, dude, they fired like all the people, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy.
And yet the prices are still going up.
Yeah, right. Like, what? Yeah, the dollar menu is $3 now. What a joke.
So, at a certain point, we're going to have to lose the idea that labor is why things are so expensive. It's not true.
Right.
It's never been true. No. They have completely decoupled cost from labor at this point. So you ask yourself, okay, if we're firing all these game developers, if we're firing all the McDonald's workers and replacing them with the machines, the value proposition on that decision is that things got cheaper, but things didn't get cheaper. Things got more expensive.
Yep.
And what's happening is these companies are hitting people on both ends. They're getting in the consumer's pocket by raising prices or deflating the product, or both. And that's what's going to get us into the. I shared a definition on Twitter a couple days ago called minimal viable product. Are you familiar with this definition?
I'm not.
I'm just going to read that. And you tell me what this sounds like to you. Minimal viable product. An MVP. I'm not even joking. A minimal viable product is a product with just enough features to attract early adopter customers and validate a product idea early in the product development cycle. In industries such as software, the MVP can help the product team receive user feedback as quickly as possible to iterate and improve on future products. What does that sound like to you? That's
like I'm being watched.
That's AAA gaming.
Like
every game.
Well, and
every game now has it's the bare minimum to be able to put on the shelf is what it is. And then they give you content roadmaps, or they sell you pieces back to you later.
Live service or whatever it's called. Yeah, and that's that brings me back to talking about how once the servers are down, the games are gone. So Suicide Squad, I skipped that. I didn't get that. I didn't want because as soon as those servers go down, I can't play the game anymore. The only game I will cave and buy when it comes out, and I know it's going to be live service, is Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and that's because I'm a diehard Killer Clowns fan. I can't not buy it. Other than that, I skip them. Like I'm good. I don't want live service. You know, you look at what Babylon's Fall, I think is the
Another
name of
one.
that
Yeah,
game.
there's another one. Yeah, 100%.
It did piss poor, and I mean it was like a year they closed the servers. You know, or what was that one that had the huge backlash recently? The day before or the day after? It was some
Oh
zombie
yeah,
apocalypse
yes,
game. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
yeah,
that I mean the servers went up and went down within like 4 days.
done.
It was crazy.
Yeah. No, what they're doing is they're basically putting that minimal viable product, and you are paying them for the pleasure of beta testing their game. That's what you're doing.
And
And I
that's
yeah, I won't have it. I won't
I
be part of it. Like no.
no, I'm not. I didn't buy it. If I pay almost $100, I want a complete game, and that's I hate DLC. I've always hated DLC. If you had the idea to put it on the game, it should have been on the game. It shouldn't be as something I have to buy later.
I never
So,
almost never buy DLC also.
well, that's all games are now is DLC.
Yes.
Like we're waiting for patches and updates and this and that. It's ridiculous.
Well, and yeah, that's the thing is if your game, and again, if you're a minimal viable product, I don't buy you. So basically, my whole thing with my Switch collection is the game, whenever you want me to play, it better be on that disc because that's what I'm playing and reviewing. I'm not
Right.
buying any of your downloadable content shit. To this day, I don't have the Breath of the Wild DLC. I don't have it. I don't
Me
fucking have it.
neither. I never did.
To this day, I don't have the Fire Emblem downloadable content. Don't have it, or none of it. Like I don't partake. You ship me the game you want me to play, and that's what I will review, and we're done.
Right.
That's basically it. Like, yeah, I'm not doing this. There are exceptions to that. The sole exception to that is From Software, whose downloadable content literally feels like brand new games most of the time.
I will agree with that.
That's the one that is literally the only exception to DLC I've ever had.
I got the Dark Souls 3 DLC and it was like a whole new thing.
And again to show people that I'm not immune to this either, Rock Band, because there was a time. Oh my God, there was a fucking time when we would like I had the Wii Rock Band and I was obsessed with that. And there was no downloadable content on the Wii, not in the traditional sense, but they did have discs that had more songs for Rock Band on the Wii.
Right.
They came with Wii games. Like there was a Beatles one and there was an ACDC.
Yeah, ACDC. Yep, I remember
I spent
those.
so much fucking money on Rock Band Wii discs and so much money buying fucking Rock Band songs. I'll never do it again. But that was a time when we really and me and other peeps used to get together and play the shit out of that game. But yeah, in general, like, yeah, that's the only game that ever snookered me. Every other one, basically, and again, I didn't even buy the horse armor. Didn't even buy like even Morrowind, like the actual DLC. It's ass. It's fucking terrible.
The horse armor deal. The downfall is what I call that.
The horse armor was the first one. Yeah, it was Bethesda. That was Oblivion.
That was the downfall.
Yep. But even before that, like Tribunal and Blood Moon are fucking terrible, dude. Like they're terrible.
Yep.
Like they're not very well balanced. Like literally, like there's a joke in the Tamriel Rebuilt community that one of the things we could do to improve the game is just lock off the Tribunal and Blood Moon content to where it's like not even fucking there, and that would give them more room to expand the Redoran territory up north if that fucking stupid island wasn't just fucking floating there. It's like,
right.
No, just get rid of it. Like I'm for that. Like we're not going to. Like they're not going to do it, but I would be for it. Like literally.
Right.
But yeah, Bill Moss says that's basically every single AAA game right there.
Yep.
So all righty, we're getting close to 10 o'clock. So once again, it's God. I swear to God, we could probably do this for twice as long if we didn't respect each other's time more. But tell everybody anything you want to say. Tell everybody where to find you, where to find your compatriots. Let them know, and then I'm going to link all the channels. I've got your channels right now, but later on, for people who watch the video in the future, I'm going to link the Super Retro Force and everybody associated. We'll link on the video below so you guys can check them out and hopefully go give them a sub and start to enjoy some of the really good content that's going to be coming through that pipeline. But Rad, tell everybody any last things you want to tell anybody?
Yeah, so I'm RadBash. Obviously, Zoo has my stuff linked below. If you want to find everybody else, if you just go over to the Super Retro Force channel or at Super Retro Force, you can find we have everybody's channels linked there.
Awesome.
Go check the guys out, and we do have exclusive team content on the Super Retro Force channel. Like I said, we have gameplay plan, top tens, room tours. We have a whole bunch planned. We're gonna put a lot of love and effort into that channel. But yeah, I definitely encourage you guys to check out everybody on the team. Everybody makes phenomenal content. They're all genuinely good people.
And I got one last question for you, man. Did you have fun?
I did. I had a good time. I always do.
Yeah, always a pleasure talking to you, Rad. Anytime you want to come on, we're always welcome to have you on. Thank you a million, man. And oh, we got Scorpio coming in with something. So I'll talk about live service games. Remind me of the purchase I made of Crash Team Rumble. They said it's not going to get any more content update after the next one. That's it. It's done. Yep, exactly. Yep. Minimal viable product. Get used to me talking about that because I'm not going to shut the fuck up after I learn that term. I'm like that kid that learned a brand new. I learned the brand new magic word, so I'm gonna be using that a lot. I feel real big brain when I say it. Like
Big brain.
big brain, real Rick and Morty season 5. Yeah. So, yep, definitely. But all right, well, I think that's gonna wrap it up, guys. If you're still here, thank you. I love you all, but also it's the fucking weekend. What the fuck are you doing listening to us? Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.